Hello everyone, welcome back to another Tomato Sauce stream. Today, we'll be playing in the Angel Cup. We'll talk a little bit about the speed ban list, because that was kind of exciting. We're also going to be talking about some of the leaks and our kind of expectations, our hopes, our wish list, etc, etc. I am actually shattered. I have had a pretty long morning, let's say. Wasn't sure I was going to get back in time, but we have gotten back in time, so we are going to be playing in the Angel Cup. So we're looking forward to doing that at the very least. But let's see who we have in the chat. We have Corey. Welcome on in. Those leaks make me way too hyped, and I can't wait. And we don't even have the actual boxes or structure decks yet. Yep, it is a very exciting time. The one thing I am a little worried about is speculation can get a bit out of control. Right, we can hype ourselves up quite a lot, and then what we actually get is going to be a little bit disappointing. I'm hoping that doesn't happen, but I'm just trying to maybe cautiously optimistic, right? That's kind of how I'm feeling right now. Ninjetti Ursus is in the chat. Welcome. It's that time again, yes, where we will go in and all of the Western players will defeat all of the Japanese players, because that is just an interesting storyline. That actually sounded a lot more racist than I wanted it to, but it's nice for, camaraderie, I suppose. I didn't mean it to sound like that. We have Dragson. Hello, welcome on in, my friend. We have CZ. What's up? Oh, mate, other than being tired, I am in quite a good mood. I think with all the Go Rush hype we've been getting, it is hard to be down on it, right? There's some stuff that I'm still like, where is this? When are we getting it? And there's other bits where I'm like, wow, this feels like it's a bit early. So we're going to have to see what actually happens with that. And we have Kim Friend. Welcome. Yo, damn Konami, I can't play Falafel next month. Meta decks still untouched. Well, we slapped one of them on the wrist gently. Yeah. That's about it. Tomato is racist confirmed. Someone tell Starry he has an ally. Well, the British have a bad rap for that sort of thing, unfortunately. We were very invadey at one point. And, you know, not all the time has it been. I guess, I'm trying to think, has British ever had an actual, big history of racism? Like, they have. It's probably just a conversation we should probably drop, to be honest. But yeah, we will be playing in the Angel Cup. We are going to be playing Bubble Era today. Just because I felt like something different. We haven't really been playing anything meta in quite a long time. We've kind of been bouncing around these off-meta decks for a while. So we're not going to just jump in on the last proper tournament and play a meta deck. So we're just going to play our Bubble Era, which is just kind of on the outside of the meta. We're quite happy for that. Let's click into this and see if this is going to immediately register what's going on. There it is. Okay, that worked. That's at least something. So we didn't have a lot of time to prep for today. If we go down to our Chrome and change this over to this, then we can look at this. Yeah, these hits. I also, alright, I'm not super literate when it comes to speed. Does limiting Beatrice do anything? Is there any deck that's playing more than one? I assume there must be. Now obviously it means you can't play it alongside other limit 1 cards, and that will hurt some decks. I'm just not sure which other decks play mandatory limit 1s, so I'm not really sure. Yuamu skills just look meh. Udia's skills are interesting with strong spells, and Yuhi okay-ish. The most interesting ones are Luke, Yuga, and possible Hero 1. Yuamu has a pseudo Thunder. It is a worse Thunder skill though, right? I don't think we can get excited for it. We can try and cope on it, but it is worse than the Thunder skill. And it still won't make... it will make the Bluetooth deck playable rather than good, I feel. Right? The Yuhi skill is for flip. The difference is the Yuhi skill takes a bad monster and makes it playable. Right? Just straight up. Is the attack swap permanent? I would assume not. But we won't know until it actually, gets announced or released or whatever, right? The Yoamu skill outs fusions at least. Yes. I mean, that's what I mean. It makes it playable, right? It makes it... I don't think it'll make it good, but it'll make it... This is actually a deck you could use, sort of thing. Alright, let's go check out our brackets. And let's see if we are in. We also are going to have to change this over to a different Chrome. There we go. That's better. Bracket. Do we have any bracket yet? Because if it is, then you can have the 4K monster that they can't activate traps in response the turn later. If possible, yeah. But we had a similar thing with the plant skill, where when the plant skill was data mined, it didn't say until end of turn, so we started getting our hopes up that this might be a permanent attack boost, and then it didn't end up being it. So I would assume it's going to be the same as that. But we don't know. This is just speculation. Is that Dwan in the chat? Welcome on in, my friend. Are you ready to win the Angel Cup? We're going to just have a Dwan versus Ursus final, and hope they don't meet each other in the early stages of the bracket like they did before. Alright, it looks like the brackets are up. What is this bracket that we have found ourselves in? If for some reason I manage to win, I'm straight away into either Deku or Dwan. I might as well just scoop now, mate. I think it's over. It's Jova, fad, guys. It's Jova. Alright, let me grab my code. Slam that in. We'll slam our message to our opponent. Also into the chat. Oh, and then I'm going to mute myself while I blow my nose. There we go. Alright. Now, we merely wait for our opponent to hop in and play the game. But it just seems weird that you switch it to attack and then leave in 1900 attack. I mean, it's not much different from a 7's Road Magician, right? You leave a 2100 attack guy on the field. There's not a huge difference between those numbers. Now, there is a difference, right? There are some cards that people play, like a Cyber Dragon can just walk over it, right? My opponent has said something. Now we will find out what he said. I'm looking forward to competing. Alright, now we'll get this out of the way. And we can jump into some games! Probably, not going to be doing particularly well. I am, like I said, I am a little bit tired. We're playing off meta. We're going to do our best. We're going to see what happens. But we have had a bad history of playing really badly on stream. Like that game we played Harpies and missed lethal. So we'll see what happens. Hello, Is Life. Welcome on in. It looks like we're against Psychic. This hand is not the strongest, but I've had worse. Yeah, this hand is really awkward. Because I don't really want to throw away Cybertech Alligator this early, but I want to deny as many of his resources as possible. I think we have to get this hand empty is the primary concern. So we'll go Brick Phone. We'll go... It has to be Fashion of Faith because it actually has attack. Then I think we're going to just get Babysit Goat into the graveyard as soon as possible. It's one of those things where, again, I don't really want to go aggressive, but leaving Psychic with basically 9 cards going into their turn is just asking for death. And again, I don't want to use my Cybertech because now it's probably going to get outed. And I won't have a boss monster for next turn because Sod's Law, I'm not going to draw one in the top 4 cards. But this way I get an extra card at my hand, which means I can actually draw into some spell traps. And not opening any spell traps is also pretty rough. I kind of don't care if I lose early today. I have some other stuff I can do. That's fair enough, the one. It's like, if I lose, I'm just going to be spectating the tournament. So, again, I'm not really fussed. It's one of those things where I don't really... The meta decks right now are all in a really weird spot for me, so I don't really like playing any of them. Cyburst I've always found to be really boring. I've just never been a big Cyburst person. Machine, the very first time I took it to a tournament, as in like the Mirror Innovator version, I won the tournament and I went, I don't need to do this again. I don't need to keep just bringing Machine to tournaments. So I kind of swore off that. Royal Rebels is a weird one. I do still like Royal Rebels, but it's a deck that I know a lot of people don't like playing against. So I don't bring it very often. I think I brought it one time this meta. And I got clapped by Dark Magician Innovator. So that didn't actually go very well. And then it's Psychic. And I did play a ton of Psychic at the start of this meta. But Psychic just feels very... I don't really know how to describe it. It's other than just volatile. It's explosive. Either it does everything you need it to do, or the deck just does nothing, and seemingly nothing in between. Well, at least we didn't lose a... Okay, so he has got the candy, but we didn't lose a spell trap, which would have sucked. Obviously, we haven't seen any yet. I really want Noodles to get rebuffed. I think... Unless they get a third Noodles skill, it's going to be very difficult for Noodles to really accomplish much of anything. Okay, it's looking like we're going to lose our whole board here and take some damage, which again is not great. And he gets his whole hand empty. This is not going well for us, lads. This is looking rather poor. Because now we have to out this board through to back row. Well, this one's the one we really have to worry about. Which we can't even out the board. If we just go defensive and he doesn't find... We don't really want to be putting all of our cards back in our deck is the issue. We got, what, 1, 2, 3, 4 can go back in. We could try and out that. It doesn't really accomplish much. If we set this, it's probably getting popped anyway. Alright, let's go for at least a little bit of an aggressive play. We'll summon out Lamoon. We're going to go ahead and just activate our TSA here. We're going to put back these. We're going to set to... The issue is, if he just gets a Melody, we're just kind of cooked no matter what here. But, like, we can't, with this hand, put any more pressure than this on. So... Right, no delay, so 2 spell cards in the back. The issue is, if one of those is a Jamp start, 2 of these are already in the graveyard. So the chance of him drawing the third is quite low, but just having a start and getting it back is quite high. So kind of yikes, I usually do really bad with Royal Rebels. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. So Rebels is a deck that I've actually had quite a lot of success with. In the Challenger Cup, I went undefeated on Rebels. In the Team League, Rebels was like Noodles and Rebels were my 2 best decks. So like I've just consistently always done well with Rebels, but I will say the Rebel mirror is horrid. It is completely just despicably bad. And Rebel has a really weird time with, like, Machines. Machines is, like... Theoretically, Machines is really favored in that matchup. But, like, Rebels seem to win it, like, 45% of the time anyway. So, like, it's weird. I've just seen your leaks video, and I'm all aboard the Hero Coke Train. Yes, the Hero Coke Train! Let's go! That's all we need. We just need enough Copers. And then when it comes out, if Heroes do come out, I get to be like... Boy, I knew it all along. I've been saying this for weeks. Heroes can come out and it'll be fine. And if it doesn't, I just go, it was never going to be Heroes, was it? I mean, come on, guys. It was a Coke Train. Well, Roman Pick is on the field. Roman Pick can't use its effect right now. I have Psychic's matchup, and they've seen both Jamp check first 2 hand. Ugh. Well, I haven't had any back row, so my opponent might have Jamp check, but it just doesn't matter. Interesting. Haha, you cannot defeat the goat! Quaz will forever defend my field. Okay, well, this is still a spooky back row, and we still have 3 monsters to deal with, and we still don't actually have a boss monster. I mean, do I just, like, clear 2 guys? Because I can theoretically do that. I could clear this and this. I'd be leaving myself open. I could also pop one of his back row. The alternative is that we just don't. We just keep setting. And then we just pray that he just doesn't... The issue is, our life points are getting kind of low. He's almost certainly going to Jamp check us. Like, almost certainly. He must have check back there, so I do not see Buffered Slime living. Maintaining this is also really good. Because when we do draw bosses, we're probably going to draw them in en masse. I think with this hand, I don't think I can afford to push Just because if he just has Jamp Up, if he has like Jamp Start, Jamp Up, and Prima, we're just dead. Like, there's nothing we can do about that. So until we find a boss, I don't think we can afford to go aggressive, because we'd be leaving Wimps on the field, and we would just die. So the one plus side is the only way he can break this board and get damage in is if he finds Melody. Now, he should be running at least 2 of them, and he hasn't found one yet, which means the chances that he has one in his hand now are reasonably high. But, like, I think if I overextend here, I have a higher chance of just being dead, whereas if he just gets a Melody here, I'm not just, like, automatically dead. Okay, you get to look at my hydration, and you get to look at my buffered slime. So you get rid of the buffered slime. So we knew he had this. We knew he had a jam check. He might even have another one back there. There she is. The spooky lady. Now the issue is, what else does he have there? Jamp Start. Okay, this is now lethal. There's nothing we can do about this. So all he has to do is spin this, summons that out, uses Jamp Up, sends it to the graveyard, gets out the Prima, boosts everything, and then he gains what, 600? Actually, that's not. He has to sequence this correctly. Because now he's got rid of a monster, he needs to do it again. So if he can get a double Melody activation, so we'd have to have another Melody in hand. Otherwise, it's looking like we're... Actually, no, because Jamp Up is a card. Now, Jamp Up just ends it, doesn't it? So he just attacks directly with that one. Unless he just doesn't have Jamp Up. What did he search? Oh, look at this Jamp Up. Yeah, we're just dead. There's nothing we can do here. We'll let him finish us off. We'll let him finish us off. Unfortunately, he had everything. He had literally every single card he needed. He had 2 Melody, he had the Candy, he had the Jamp Start, he had the Jamp Up. He didn't need anything at all. He just had everything. Which is a shame, but it is what it is. Who would have thought that we wouldn't have a very good time against the best deck in the format, hey? Well, maybe we'll win the coin toss this time, and we'll have, like, a little bit more luck on our side. Fingers crossed. Alright, we'll give him a couple seconds to see if this actually starts or not. And if not, we'll hit cancel. Right, there we go. Alright. To be honest, it's a good way to try and bring speed players into a new Rush World, Cyber Dragon, and Hero. Yeah, but we should have got Ancient Gears. I want my Ancient Gears. Oh, we lost the coin toss again. Angry, angry, angry. Unfortunately, Call of the Earthbound not particularly good in this matchup specifically. There is actually a world, and we don't even get to use his... Well, it wouldn't matter anyway, it's too early in the game. There is a world that we lose here without even getting to see any Diankito, which would be so, so sad. Disco Fever! Boost this. We'll boost this. Go to battle, swing into this. Swing into this. Swing into this. So again, it's one of those things where we literally, if we don't clear the board, we are just inviting, like, the biggest wombo combo of all time to just completely rip us apart. Maybe just once, the Psychic player just won't have Candy. Maybe that's too much to ask, right? But maybe just once, they just won't have the Candy in hand. Fingers crossed. Nope, Candy is glued to every Psychic player's hand except for mine. So he's got Prima. Unfortunately, my back row won't really do anything here. We might actually just die here. There is a non-zero chance that we are just dead right now. Okay, it's looking a little bit better for us. So he had 2 Candy. He had both Candy there and 2 1500s. This could not be going any better. The only way this could be any better would be as if he also had a Jamp check. I guess Jamp up as well. This is looking rather rough for us. I mean, again, we don't really get a say in this. We kind of just have to do what we have. Well. Go, Seahorse Carrier. I'll grab back Lamoon. We're going to summon Lamoon. We're going to summon out Fashion of Faith. We're going to activate our Disco Fever skill. Target this. And this. And this. Then we're going to go ahead and activate Tribute to the Doomed. Discard this. And we will go ahead and pop this. We'll set a back row. Go to battle. Swing for 19. Swing with our 18. And swing with our 14. Alright. Let's see what he's got. What are they going to do? Candy me? Man who is candied. Exactly. You got any plan already in which order you want to test out the new decks and which one you would love to try first? So, I am most excited based on the skills we've seen and based on the cards that we think we're getting. 7's Paladin interests me the most. Followed probably by Dragiastar F. I think those look like the most fun. I don't actually think most of the Go Rush stuff looks great. We'll have to wait and see, right? And when I say great, I don't necessarily mean like meta-wise it's not going to be like strong. I just mean it doesn't look interesting. Like, Jointech, High-Tech Dragon, Light Galaxy, Hero, Metarion, Sidra, 7's Paladin, Dragius Fusion, and more probably possible. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do decide to give us. There is a quite high chance, I think, that we get Meeg. Because it would, like, bringing out the, Secret Order just makes sense to, like, include Meeg in with that. Okay. Going for the most damage. Does this matter to me? I don't think this matters at all. The issue is Talismanic Seal Array is not on right now anyway. Yeah, I think we just take this. The one thing I'm worried about is just not having the ability to activate my back row. Okay. How do we want to play this? Do we leave this on the board then? This doesn't do anything, so it has to be normal summon this turn. So we will set this. We'll go ahead and tribute both of these. Summon this. Then I'm going to go ahead and activate Talismanic Seal Array here. Put 1, 2, 3, 4 back in the deck. This will then let me activate the Hydration. And go ahead and pop this. Then I'm going to activate Dean Keto's effect. I'm just going to discard Brick Phone. Summon out the Canaan. Activate the skill. Boost this up. Go to battle. We're going to swing in for as much damage as we possibly can. I'm going to try and clear the board. Now, the downside here is we do just kind of die to Jamp check. Like, we will just kind of die to that. But we might not. Let's see what happens. Depends what's in the boxes and structures. I'm getting sacked by Psychic so bad, Lamau. What's my luck in these tournaments? Yes. Rush in general does have a huge luck factor that I think a lot of people... Some people overplay the luck factor and some people, like, underplay it. Like, people that tend to do well by always playing, like, the most consistent deck in the room, always playing the best, like, meta deck, are going to be like, oh, no, there's not very much luck, you're just doing it wrong. And then the people that lose all the time tend to be like, oh, no, it's all luck, it doesn't matter, blah, 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 blah. There is a very, like, distinct middle ground, I think, where sometimes you will just lose because of bad luck, and there's nothing you can do about it. And that's fine, right? It doesn't necessarily feel good, especially if you're, like, in a tournament setting, but, like, it does just happen, right? Hey, Tom, how the new home UI? I think the new home UI is pretty cool. I don't dislike it. Also, welcome on in, Zaki boys. He's gone first. All three, such advantage for Psychics. Yeah, our opponent here, our Psychic opponent, has gone first both games so far. So, do you watch the Go Rush series? Yes, I do. Welcome on in, King Feo. We are... I am completely up to date right now. Yes, I'm completely up to date with Go Rush as it is right now. Okay. That's a lot of cards. How do we want to play this, though? We could just turn everything sideways. Because we haven't got a face down, he can't just, like, melody me out of the game. At the same time, leaving him with lots of cards doesn't sound like a good idea. I could also just fill my deck up and just keep slamming into him, and then eventually he's going to have to do something, right? We'll activate the hydration either way. We're going to pop this new one. How do we want to play this? Well, we can't use this either way. We probably want to just get our life points higher, to be honest. I think we probably just get rid of this Lamoon for now. We probably just set another trap. I think realistically we kind of just have to. And then I think we just go battle and swing everything in. Like, we've got a decent chunk of life now. We have okay traps. We could still just die to... I mean, it has to be very specific, right? It needs to be a Jamp check and a Mellow deactivation, and he needs to have enough attack to swing over one of these for game. And even if he does all of that, one of our back row will probably survive. Even if it's Call of the Earthbound that survives, we can still force him to attack into D and Keto, which might keep us alive, because it's basically an extra 1300. World UI is okay, but I missed the character in the bottom, and the home UI is fun and looks pretty good. Also, there were apparently like 8+ different poses for each character in the code, so hopefully we'll get more of those as we go forward. Maybe they'll like make them unlockable, or maybe they'll make them like accessories you have to buy in the shop. I'm so angry about the cliffhanger. I need answers! I mean... I don't want to get into, like, spoilers in case there is anyone here that is planning to watch it or is watching it, like, in the future or whatever. But, like, it is looking kind of tasty right now, let's put it that way. Rhythmical is such a funny card. They have to use it to stop my chances of getting max, and they defo won't get a draw is funny. As long as they tribute the body off, it's still just, like, fine, right? But if they just, like, slap it down and leave a 500 attack guy, that's obviously never a good thing. Okay, so we have the candy on the field. Activates Jamp Up immediately. That tells me the hand is looking a little bit awkward. So we do summon out the Melody. Then we summon out Rhythmical. Don't get the draw. Ready Shine. So we're just going to be using this to put this back in our hand. Are we actually going to summon it again, or are we just going to set it? So we actually lost our worst back row, so that's fantastic for us. But he knew that one was activatable, because he attacked early in the game and saw there was a delay. So that was still smart of him to pick that one. He just doesn't realize that was the wrong choice. Tributes 2, summons out Prima, activates TTTD, gets rid of the last card. So we do just win then. We got a time limit win! I mean, it doesn't matter. We won that game anyway. Like, he didn't know, but we had such great... we had such good back row that it didn't matter. We had already won that game. He doesn't know that. But we know that. 4, 3, 2, 1. Is he gonna click it? You gonna click it, buddy? Next week must feel like Christmas with how much content we are getting. Yes, I am very, very excited for just everything we're getting. Be interesting to see what ends up happening. Oh, are we gonna win the coin toss? Are we gonna win the coin toss for one game? Can we do it? Ah! Yes, we did it! We won a coin toss! Alright. I was kind of happier when we didn't have this. Do I just slam it down and get the free draw? I think I do. Like, this is a bit awkward. But if he doesn't have Jamp Up or a Prima, he can't actually out this. And I don't want to waste the draw off of this. I would like to gain 1,000, but like we're definitely not giving up cards. Right, this is a bit of a greedy start, but at the same time, leaving Diankito in the hand is arguably also greedy. So we'll see what happens. I'm still very hyped for Yuo, not gonna lie. I know he's not gonna be the strongest, but still. Metarian cards, I've always thought were a bit crap. They've never been, like, super exciting, and I only really like the design of 2 of them. Well, I like Imaginary Actor. I think Imaginary Actor, like the little jester guy, I think he just looks cool. I think, the anti-warrior one, Ashura Star, looks really cool. I think the dinosaur one looks really cool as well. But, like, Eracle Star, not a big fan of its design. Like, its effect is a bit mid, and its, like, card art is a bit mid. Hello, Dancing Tomato. I hope you have a great day. Welcome, welcome on in, Sakadetsu. Our friendly stream watcher. I see you in everyone's stream, Sakadetsu. You're just like, you're everyone's favorite viewer, I swear. How do we navigate this? Like, do we just go for a hydration? Because if we pop a good back row, we could be in a really good spot. We also could just hit nothing. I think either way we use Diankito. I think we are going to give up a brick phone here. We're also always summoning Kanan. We're always doing this. No matter where I put the boost, it doesn't really matter. We're always setting this. The question is, are we activating hydration? I don't think so. We'll just go battle. We'll see what he's got. No delay. No delay is very interesting. So those are 3 spell cards. So they could be Jamp Up, Jamp Check, Jamp Start. Which deck are you most excited for? I get excited is a weird term because, like, the one I'm most interested in is probably not the one I'm most excited for. So most excited, like raw excitement. Here we go. Here comes the Jamp Check. Not my slime. Not my hydration. Most excited. It's a weird one. There are so many to pick from. Like, Heroes, like, kind of excite me if that actually comes out. I think, realistically, I'm looking forward to all of them. I think the ones I'm least looking forward to is Yuamu's, like, high-tech dragons. I've never really been a huge fan of them personally. And then the other would be probably Yuo stuff. But again, I don't dislike the Yuo stuff. I just don't think it's as interesting to me as the other stuff. What can I say? I'm a good guy. Okay, so he's going to spin another one of my back rows. Which, like, is annoying, but, like, kind of whatever. I hope we get Phase's deck. Both his maximums are awesome. That won't be for a very long time. Like, we're talking, like, probably next year, right? Like, as in, like, a year from now sort of thing. I have a question. With Ancient Gear Golem will be show as a free-to-play, do you think... Oh, don't get rid of my TSA, you jerk. Well, he knows what this is. He knows I have the buffered slime. Do you think we will get Ancient Gear Structure or something else? I think if we were gonna get an Ancient Gear Structure, we would have got a skill. I think the fact we didn't get a skill tells me we're not getting an Ancient Gear Structure. As much as I would love that, and I am all aboard that hype train, I just don't think it's happening. Okay, we're having our board absolutely broken here, but there's no point in activating this back row. Fortunately, our hand is all ready to counteract what he's got here. And we know this doesn't have... We know this isn't activatable. So that's just another spell card back there. Well, now this is kind of redundant. Like, we can still weaken something by 500. So I'll go Seahorse, activate Seahorse. Get me back Canaan. If I reduce this by 500, I get it down to 9. Is it worth not summoning Dean Keto to clear all 3 monsters? Because I can just summon out Canaan. Then oh no, because I can't clear all 3 because this can't attack over anyway. Alright, I think we do activate Brick Phone. Send it, get it back. It goes on the bottom of the deck as well, so that's fine. I just make sure I'm not being a complete and total idiot. We do have one in there, yes. So we'll activate Brick Phone. I can put this back in the deck. Then we have to reduce... I mean, we don't have to, but we're going to. We add this back to our hand. Tribute these two. Activate the skill. Boost this. Set 1, set 2. Go to battle. Attempt to swing over this, which we know it's gonna work. And we swing over this. Okay. Let's see what we get. I got absolutely sacked that whole match. I think it's just to give Earth Machine a legend for a boost. I do still stand by, though. I think we could just give us a load of those Ancient Gear cards, and it would be fine. We might even see them in a couple months. Like, I don't think that would be a bad thing. That's Arc 5, so at least 1.5 to 2 years. Now, you got to be careful when you say Arc 5, because that also means something else. A Sag guess I will be hibernating. Yeah, it'll be a while, but when it does come out, we'll get what? We'll get all 3 of the Sea Serpent maximums, and we'll be getting... Oh, don't mill my legend and get a free draw, you jerk. And we'll be getting Vocalized Phoenix, probably all around the same time, which will be a very exciting time. Bruh. If he doesn't have check, we'll probably be fine. If he has check, that's where things get spooky. Summons out, so just hard tribute this out as well. We have what, just another 1500 beta? Is that another 1500 beta? Pays the 1000. Go straight to battle! Brother in Christ. Alright, behold, widespread ruin. The game is over! We have felled our opponent! So 2, 1, victory report, submit, English to Japanese. We did it! We somehow won! Alright, let me go check the bracket. Make sure that's all still looking hunky-dory. Oh, we're against Dwan! I mean, we knew this was coming. Dwan. I'm gonna trust that Dwan won't look at my hand. I'm just gonna trust. I don't think you're gonna need it. I don't think you're gonna need the extra information. I think you'll probably be just fine anyway. But I'm just gonna trust. Alright, let's go join Dwan's room. Door room, enter room. Hop on in. Jump into the game. Drop a little hello message. Begin the duel. Time to mute the stream and open a new tab. Well. Again, Dwan is much, much better than us. So we are probably going to lose this. And by the look of it, he's playing a much better deck as well. So we're against Cyberse. I mean, we have a chance. I would say it's like 30-70, right? Like we're not looking great here. We do get to empty the hand, but unfortunately we're throwing like such good cards into the bin, which is so sad. Right, we'll just pass on that. Welcome on in, JD Scrub, by the way. Welcome, welcome. Let's go do some monsters. Konami be like, here, take it on Card Trader. Ooh. Epoch soon after? You think we're getting Epoch that soon? I got Cyber Dragons match 2. That should be a freebie, but, you know, bricks happen. And the best dude in the series, Maguto! Maguto is so good. I love Maguto. Hey, Tomato, how you doing? We're doing pretty good. We're a little bit tired. But other than that, we're doing pretty good. He did it! We did it! Now we're going to win. Ooh, I mean, I want to say that. Oh, yeah, you're right. Wrong screen. Wrong screen. You can watch us get completely dumpstered. Our sets are Seahorse, Fashion of Faith. We have Call of the Earthbound and King's Majesty. That's how we stop Dwan from screen looking. We just leave this. We just leave the bracket up the entire time. You can't cheat if we do that. All right. So now he knows that there is a delay. That means he's probably going to focus on these two. So if we actually draw a good back row, we can make use of that. That is pretty abysmal. That is really rough. So we always drop Tribute to the Doomed because we can't just end with both of these in our hand. We'll summon out the Canaan. And we have to set this. We have to activate this. Just losing those two Seahorses early is like so bad for us. The issue is his deck is like 6 1500 beaters. And his deck also is just reduce your opponent's attack by 800. So this is really, really bad. This is like we are just cooked already. We might not be dead this turn, but I think we're going to be so far behind, it's going to be irrelevant. I think the game is probably over. We'll play it out, right? We're going to see what we can do. If we don't die this turn, maybe there's a chance. But, like, now it's, like, 5 to 95 that we actually have a chance here. So it's, like, a pretty yikes. Do you use the same account for both Rush and Speed, or did you create a separate one? I have a separate one. So this used to be my Speed account, and we converted it into Rush because it had a load of gems already on it. Well, it had, like, just, like, a backlog of stuff. And then we made a new Speed account, which we play, like, semi-casually. We only really play one deck with kind of a one-trick. Yay, Cyberse! Yoo-hoo! Yeah. Cyberse is just like, I think it's just my least favorite meta deck. Like, ever since it came out, I'm like, summoning Yugdrago is kind of cool. But like, just like put card to top of deck, get guys out easier, minus 800 attack is just really boring. So we're taking almost all of our life points here, and there's nothing we can do about it. So we're taking 57. No, it was 47. Right, do we draw playable? We've drawn our third Dinkito because our deck actually hates us. Well, what else can we do but play the hand we're dealt? The worst part is we can't even play Widespread Ruin. Like, we physically are incapable of playing it. We have one attack negate. That's all we have. Because our back row is clogged. Unfortunately, we need good luck to win this matchup, and we've been getting nothing but bad luck. Again, there's a very slim chance we're not just dead. We might actually survive this. There is a chance we survive this turn. Now, we have already used our Tribute to the Doomed, so we are now... Right, now, this is actually looking kind of good. Wait, what's our life points at? 17. So that is exactly 23. So we're being forced to do this. Alright, if we can find TSA and a monster, we're kind of good to go here. Alright, Fashion of Faith, we still have a chance. Activate Fashion of Faith. Damn, bro. Alright, we're going to activate Hydration. We'll go ahead and pop this. We're going to activate D and Keto. We're going to discard this. We'll summon out Brick Phone. Activate its effect. If I discard this, I can reduce that. We haven't normal summoned a normal monster, have we? Damn, if we had a normal Aqua monster, we could actually break this. But we don't have our skill. So even if I used that afterwards, it still doesn't do it, because it only reduces by 500, so it'd be a... Yeah, so we have to send this. Reduce this. Grab this back. Tribute both of these to summon this. If I set these, I actually lose the game. So we have to use D and Keto. We have to send Buffered Slimes. There's no reason to hold on to it. Do we just change this to defense? Does it matter? He just pops the other one anyway. So I don't think it matters. I think we just end like this. There was an argument to leave one in defense, I guess. The other thing is we do actually have... No, yeah, he's just going to pop one and then attack over the other one, so there was no point. It didn't matter. If we had had 3 monsters, there was maybe something we could have done there. Maximum Ragnarok, so we're just going to do this to get more damage in. If we had just had... I mean, there's still a chance, right? There's still an okay chance. We just need to find TSA and, like, monsters that can beat this. That's not a TSA. How do we approach this? We could just set 3, actually. That's not too bad. The issue is this one. It's, do I set this? Part of me thinks I don't set it. Because if it gets clogged, if he doesn't set a back row, I get, like, punished for doing that. So I think we actually leave this in hand. So he flips one up. He can use Maximum Ragnarok. Put a card back on top. Gets that down. Goes to battle. Goes for a swing. We use Call of the Earthbound. If we had Call of the Earth... Yeah, we should have just set this. I keep forgetting about Call of the Earthbound. We have two! We have two of them in the deck still! That's just game. That's just game. There's nothing we can do, right? Like, straight up. He can reduce something by 800. So if we got this out, we could live if he attacked it, but he's not going to attack it. He'll just mill 3. And then attack the other one. We can't clear our board. We can't even activate that. I mean, that's unfortunate. We basically did brick. Like, basically for like the first 3 turns of that game, we were like completely bricked up and there was nothing we could do. So I think considering that, we got very close. If we had actually just found a TSA, I think we actually just win that game. Stall mob? We can't stall. Because Yggdrago's effect is it can change one of your monsters from face down defense to face up attack, so we can just attack over it. So we physically can't. Why are we bricking again? I don't want these brick hands. We didn't brick against our last opponent at all, and now we've bricked twice in a row against Dwan. Like, we basically are forced to have this as our end board. We basically don't get a say. We have to just have one boss stuck in attack mode with a back row. This is, like, so unbelievably bad. Like, our only hope here is that Dwan hasn't opened any boss monsters. That is our win con. He just doesn't have any bosses. Literally, my opponent drawing exactly what they need every time. These JP players eating. Now, these players literally opening everything all the time. Well, I mean, Dwan is Dwan. He's not a Japanese player. so I can't say that. Okay. We can break this very easily. Why have I got no normal monsters? Bro, this is so easy. Alright, we can still do stuff, right? This is still fine, but this is, like, very annoying that I keep drawing, like, the weirdest hands that don't actually get me where I need to go. So we have to summon Brick. We have to activate Brick. I think we need monsters, so I think we actually get rid of the hydration. Actually, do I just put back Tribute to the Doomed? He'd need to hard draw it. And this is probably going to get popped. Nah, we're going to put this back. So we're actually going to reduce the Connector Dog. We'll add back D and Keto. Unfortunately, we're going to have to give up a Fashion of Faith, which sucks, but, like, it needs to happen. We'll summon out the second Fashion of Faith, activate its effect. Unfortunately, that's not a very good draw. So we'll be setting both of these, go to battle, we'll swing over this, and swing over this. So we have got Dwan back down to 0 cards, which is like the one saving grace here. Unfortunately, we do have Goat. We do have Goat. I forgot we had Goat and Grave. Okay, this is actually not too bad then. Nah, fuck Dwan. Bruh! That's my boy! Can't be like that. My opponent should have been a free win. But now he got Widespread and back row pops and TSA the first 2 hands both game. I mean, it happens, man. Like, it sucks, right? It really sucks. Don't. I'm not trying to downplay. But shit just happens, especially in single elimination tournaments. I'm amazed we made it through round 1. And I would be even more amazed if we made it through round 2. Odd One's figuring this out. Let's see what else is going on. Ursus and Bismarck. No! Why does this keep happening? It's rigged. It's rigged, I tell you. Our VTuber friend that was playing Cyber Dragon before did actually manage to beat Nanao. 2-0 as well. No, fuck Dwan. Fuck Monster Monsters. Stop being mean to Dwan. I'm going to say that in chat in case he's reading it. That's for Dwan's benefit, in case he's reading the chat. I don't want him to think I'm bad-mouthing him in chat. Alright, Ragnarok comes down. Discard. Target both, so double boss incoming. We know he added the middle max piece. Summons out Hydron. Activate Hydron. Does get the draw. Was that the... That was. He needed a monster off the top to get the draw. Do we do this is the question. I think we do. I think maintaining this is really important right now. As much as it sucks, because it means I don't have it for the max if the max comes out, I think it is important to keep it. Hydration is very good here. We do have another one of those in graveyard as well. So ideally you want to use that last. So it'll be what? Summon. Use the effect, get rid of that. Summon. Tribute both. Get that, summon that, get the draw, boost both. The only issue with that is... Well, I guess the draw still works out. And then we can possibly use that as well. Right, we'll summon out Brick Phone. We're going to go ahead and just drop the hydration now. Pop the back row. That's pretty big. We will summon out a Kanan. Then I'm going to activate Brick Phone. We'll get rid of this. We're going to weaken this one. Then I'm going to add this Diankito. I'm going to go ahead and tribute both. We're going to summon out the Fashion. Activate Fashion of Faith. We're then going to activate Tribute to the Doomed. Just going to get rid of this. Activate the skill. Just going to boost this up. Go to battle. Swing over this. Swing over this. And swing in for lethal! Whoa! I guess using Majesty was the correct play after all. Alright, 1-0, 1-0. Can we bring it home? Can we manage it? Probably not, but oh, let's get on this copium train. Everyone, all aboard, choo-choo. Alright. Let's see what Dwan's got. I would like to point out as well, we did also open that game with 2 boss monsters, and our turn 1 was Diankito set TSA pass. We're going first. We went first last time, and we opened a brick. Let's see what we get this time. How greedy do we get with this is the next question. And we always set this. I think we just set all 3 monsters, right? The question is, are we keeping this in hand or not? It theoretically will out one of his guys. Right, we're going to keep it in hand, but this is greedy. Because if we draw a Diankito, we could just be screwing ourselves right now. But we're going to see what happens. We're going to see what happens. Okay, so he's going to get a Receptacle Marnie. That's probably the best case for us, because Receptacle we can attack over with Cybertech. Alright, Reset Runner comes down. Maximum Ragnarok. Probably on 2. 1, 2. So, double boss, Marnie, and what? If it's the middle Yggdrago piece, that's probably best case for us. Because we can attack over it if we just see a Kanan. Okay, so if we just need a Kanan. That's all we want. Do we use this? I'm going to do this. We're going to use Widespread. This is a little bit greedy, but I think we have to get a little bit greedy. This way we get to keep a monster on board as well, which will help alleviate our, like, brick problem. Obviously, that's not great. We can flip this up. I think it has to be Dean Keto discard Cybertech, to be honest. If I could clear this, I would just summon this and then go like that. But because I haven't normal summoned a normal Acro, I can't use the skill. So because of that, I think we just go Dean Keto here. We are going to discard this. This is now the pain in the ass, though, because I think I have to... It's like, do I give him the +1? Or do I take out the guy that can already clear me? I think I'm going to clear the Femtron. Like, just giving him the +1 just feels really bad. And chances are he's going to be able to clear it anyway. Like, basically, he gets 5 draws, then he would get an extra 3 chances to find any boss monster, which immediately outs Dean Keto. Not happy with that. Especially when he hits the trap card. We have 2 Dean Keto, 2 Brick Phone left in deck. We just need to not get unlucky, basically. Oh, okay, well... Theoretically, it was more correct to kill the Yggdrago, but we don't know what the top 3 cards of his deck were, so... We still out this with just a Canaan. Like, Canaan on its own outs that. No, that's Canaan. We could just summon all 3 of these, clear the whole board. Like, that is a play we have. Alternatively, we go Brick Phone Nian Nian. Brick Phone I don't actually think does much for us here. Like, we can already out this whole board. We'd get the +1 off of Fashion of Faith. So I'd have to summon this, give up a card, then summon that. Yeah, it's just not worth it. Because I'm not going to get the +1 off Fashion of Faith unless I get rid of a spell card. So we go Brick. We go Canaan. We go Fashion. We're going to activate the Hydration. I'm going to pop this. So I can boost 2 of them, clear, or get in for 14, or we activate that, get rid of the other Hydration, get the boss back, tribute 2, and it basically is gambling. We give up the Hydration. I'll tell you what, I'm willing to do that. Yeah, we're going to do it. We're going to go Brick Phone. I've convinced myself. We're going to lower this thing's attack. I'm going to grab back the Dean Keto. I'm going to tribute off both. We're going to activate to draw a card. Oh, that stings! That stings so bad! Alright. Well, I don't want it in my hand. Do I just go for like a 3600? No, that's never right? We'll just go battle. We'll swing over this. Ah, bro, any normal summon or any back row would have been fine. Like, that was the one thing we didn't want to happen. Ah! On the plus side, we have a lot of life points. That is about the only thing we've got going for us, though. How many of his back row hates has he seen? 1. I'm running out of outs to the max as well in case he does draw it. If I say that, we've got 1 on the field. Always save TSA in case of max. Yeah, I mean, that's like the logic. Because we do still have another TSA and a GTTD in deck. I'm a little bit wary about having it set on the field as our only back row because of that. The other issue is we're running out of boss monsters and ways to get bosses back. So activating TSA is a way to like just chuck it all back in the deck and give us another go at it. Activates Raggy. So we're only getting out one boss. So we're still going to take some damage here. We're still going to lose our whole board. As far as bosses go, that is obviously the best one. Like, for us. If we get TSA, and we get... Like, TSA, normal, Aqua, and Dianketo is just lethal here. That's not a TSA. That's still a lot, though. We do what? Summon, summon. Don't even bother using that. Tribute for that. Summon this. Give it a boost. Getting the draw is always going to be worth it. We can also get an extra boost off of that. Yeah. So we'll go Lamoon. We'll go Brick. We're going to tribute both. Summon this. Summon out Fashion. Activate the effect. So, if we use this, it's not as good as doing this, because this takes 2,000 off the board, this puts 21 on the board. So there's no reason to do that. I think we just summon this, set this, activate the skill, boost this, go to battle, so if I swing in here, that was only 14, so there's no reason to do that. So we just swing in here. We'll swing in here. Okay, 1,000 life points. Oh, you have games. Summon all 3. Reduce a 15 by 5 attack boss. TTT. Throne? Alright, mate, you didn't even say it until I ended my turn. Boost attack with all 3, 2 boosted by skill for game. 5. Add back boss. So we add back the boss. What would we be giving up? Let's say... I was typing. You're a slow typer then! So reduce a 15 by 5. So we'd have to give up a card from our hand to do so. Would have put it down to 1,000 attack. Pop the Ig. Boost attack with all 3. 2 boosted by skill for game. Do we have enough cards to do that? So... we would have had... we had the 5 card hand. It would have been... summon, give up a card, get back the boss. 2 more normals. Tribute to get out 1 boss. Yeah, you had enough? I'd have to go back and, like, double check the hand, but I'll take your word for it that we had enough. You don't summon boss, you don't need it. Oh, we just put it back on our hand to discard with TTTD. That would have been what? Brick, plus Fashion, plus Canaan, plus 800 on all of them. Sets a back row. Slams in there. It's in for 12. Okay. What has he got in here currently? 1. So... Rules 4 goes down to 3 cards in deck. I think we're going to deck out first. Is our current issue. If we had... we still have everything we need in the deck. It's just like, I think it's going to be too late. But these are pointless. Turn this sideways. Set this, and we'll end the turn. Alright. Yeah, this is the issue, is Perceptical Mana. You can keep refilling the deck. Not that it matters. We were always going to deck out first, I think. Swings there, that's fine. Yeah, he's leaving the face up. Very smart. I'm not going to need anything specific. I think we just set. What traps have we seen from him? No, he still has his Legend Trap, so we can't afford to do anything too greedy. Alright, we just pass on this. Yeah, you're right. That would have done it. That would have done it. You typed it. You did type it. You gotta remember, they're on a clock now, so... I know that in the deck, I have one copy of thingy left. One copy of the back row hate left in the deck. So that's kind of what I'm waiting for. What I have been waiting for. I just need him to not set a back row. Okay. That's fine. That's fine. I am going to do this, which might end up biting me, just because I don't know if I have another Aqua Monster in my deck. We just need to not miss... Ah! Bro, the last card in our deck! And we did have an Aqua! Bruh, I'm so mad. I'm so mad. This is so sad, bro. Oh, again, my win con would work if we didn't just lose the 66. We had a 66% chance to get what we wanted. I mean, we're just going to do what we can then. I don't think it matters at this point what we put back in. His back row is going to be the Legend Trap, and then we're just cooked, and there's nothing we can do about it. Yeah. Rip. 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 So we had lethal twice and we missed it, and then we got unbelievably unlucky to miss it in game 3. Ah, that is a shame. That is such a shame. That is such a shame. Ah, that is so sad. That is so sad. So we should have won that game. We should have won. We should have won. We basically... I'm so annoyed at myself for, like, not seeing the line. And then at the end, I was like, all right, I have to play this safe because if I don't have another Aqua in deck, I just die. And then we already had an Aqua in deck. I didn't have time because of the timer to, like, go in, look through my entire deck, and work out if we still had an Aqua left. Damn, that sucks. That sucks. Again, we should have won. We should have won that game. If we had, like, an extra minute on the timer, we win the game. If we didn't throw lethal twice, we win the game. And if we didn't miss our final copy of Hydration that was still left in our deck, it was the bottom card of our deck. If we didn't miss that, we get game. It's so sad. It's so sad. We would have beaten Cyberse as well, which would have been such a good one to beat. But, well. That is a shame. That is a shame. Alright, let's go and check out the other game, see what's going on. We are going to have to fiddle around with this again. This one we want? Nope, not that one. This one? There we go. Welcome on in, Grand. I just feel sad. Bro, like, I feel like we had to find the only way to lose the game. We had everything going for us. Which is a shame. Which is such a shame. Such a shame. We had lethal 2 different turns. And then I didn't trust the deck that we had another Aqua in there. It is what it is. It is what it is. At least we know that the deck would have won, right? So, like, that's something. At least we can start working on decks for Grand's Tournament. Grand's Tournament is a weird one because there are simultaneously, like, a lot of different decks and simultaneously not many decks worth bringing. So, like, it's going to be interesting. Now, it did... So, the other, like, I guess, like, semi-negative thing is that we can't use skills that have been nerfed. So, for example, we can't use Old Hell Tuning Evasion. I don't think we'd want to see Old Hell Tuning Evasion, but we can't use it. And the same thing goes for the Noodle skill. We can't, unfortunately, bring back Noodles, which, like, is a bit of a shame. But other than that, like, the very early one, like, using the first 2 boxes, I think there's going to be some really cool stuff there. So it looks like Ursus did beat Bisma and has advanced to the top 8. And we are watching that game. Yeah, obviously there's going to be some problems. I think that's a good thing. It means less predictable meta for those decks, but also slightly more fair. So I would not like to see Hell Tuning Evasion come back, right? It's just a shame that there isn't a way in custom games to use older versions of skills. Like, if you're in a duel room, like, it'd just be nice if we just had the option, right? Let's be real, those decks suck to play against. I think the Noodle deck was a great deck. Like, I still think that was a really fun deck. It had some really strong matchups and some really bad matchups. I don't think you can realistically sit there and say that, like, Noodles was awful to play against whilst simultaneously being like, yeah, but Magnum Overlord's fine. You know, Machine piercing through all my shit is fine. Royal Rebels forcing me to play defensive the entire game is fine. It's just one of those things. I know this isn't a perfect event. I just want to use it as a chance to look back at the year. Yes. I mean, that was basically what one of my latest videos was, right? It was just go back over the year and look at the decks that I really liked. It's just, I obviously I'm not trying to, like, bash the idea of the event. I think it's a really cool idea. What I'm bashing is Konami and Duel Links for not letting us play with old skills, which I think is a shame. I would really like just a way to be able to say, let me use this previous version of the skill. And I don't even think it would be that difficult to implement that. But obviously they just don't care enough to do so. So Ursus is back on the Harpies again. Ursus has been bringing the Harpies quite a lot lately. He is going up against the Psychics. Actually, I'm thinking of one more change. Ooh, what change are we thinking? We've got the Can Melody, put the card back in hand, spin the back row. Now, this is not looking good for Ursus. It's unlikely we just die here at the very least. I'm trying to build here. We got 3 days. Harpies get buffed, so I can't blame it. After all, they have MST Live. I do think, though, that Harpies are still a bit shit. I don't think the change of giving them access to Avian Spell Tactics suddenly makes them really strong. It just makes them a little bit better than they were, and they were dog shit. So now, Harpies is in this weird spot where they're, like, slightly better than dog shit. And I'm like, is that worth playing? I don't know. Deck 2 going up through deck build box with Extra Spice and Volcano Dragon. I think that's cool. I think that's fine as a change. I don't know if it changes anything. I don't know if anyone's actually going to bring nerfed noodles. Or if anyone would bring, like, what's it called? Inferno Blast, or whatever it's called. But, you know, more options is always really cool. Uncensored Harpy Lady. Alright, what are we going to do here? So Ursus is down to only 2,000 life points. We have got 3 back row. We are jump checking 2 of them, though. Well, what are we popping? Avian Spell Tactics or Avian Spell Tactics? Can Melody. Put a card back. So we can spin that last back row, and then if we could just clear these, we win. So just a 1,500 attack. Yep, and that is going to be lethal. Unfortunately, Ursus is going to lose this game. We don't know what game this is. This might be game 1. We also did not need to pay that 1,000. But why not, eh? Boop. Boop. And that is a 3,000 direct attack. And it just goes to show just how scary Psychic can be. I play Inferno because it's funny throwing fire dragons against a Rise Dragon. I'm trying to think, do people... By that time, I think most people have stopped playing a Rise Dragon. I think I took it to an event because Clear Ice at that point had just been unrestricted. And like, other than that, like, no one was playing it. Alright, let's see. Yeah, it is a bit of a weird one. That Arise is like very clearly like blue, even though it's like 2 weaker guys. Did he just scoop, or was that like a Konami bug? But yeah, the 2 like dragons, I don't know if they make up Ancient Arise or if they're just like his friends or something, but like obviously one of them is Clear Ice, the other one is Burning Blaze. You'd think the Ancient Arise would have a bit more fire involved, you know? Alright, we have a tea set. The goat special. Do we have 2 bosses in hand and we're now debating whether or not we tribute one out? Why does my music keep doing this? Pain in the butt. There we go. I think that must be what's going on here, right? We must have 2 bosses in hand. I think leave it as you have it now because we want to try to keep it nostalgic and also not power creep older decks before their time. It's one of those weird ones though, because when we got when Noodles first came out, we had quite an interesting meta of Harpies and Noodles kind of being the 2 best decks. And there was quite a lot of like back and forth between those decks. So I guess what you really are trying to do is like pick a good time in the game's history when we had an interesting or diverse meta. It's a weird one. It's definitely a weird one. Obviously, Noodles are just irreversibly weakened. We can't really do anything about that. And the other thing is, I assume we're not using the... Because I didn't look at the message that was posted today, because I've been in a mad dash today. But I assume we're not using the restrictions that were at the time. So I guess, like, Harpies can just play Avian Spell Tactics. Like I said, I haven't read the post, the updated post today, so I haven't seen if there's been any rule changes. Okay, where are we going with this? Our Psychic player does like to take a long time with their turns. Current ban list and skills are all good for whenever. Yes, that means, like, it's current ban list with a few changes to account for meta, so, like, Ghost Cyclone is free for deck 1 and 2. Okay, so does that mean Avian Spell Tactics is going to be limited, right? Because otherwise, Harpies gets a massive boost. Because Harpies, you got to remember, Harpies is a deck that was actually one of the best decks in the game for, like, a brief stint there. When was that? It was Scorching Flame Burst meta. It was arguably the best deck in the game. Evolving Rising Heart meta, it was not. And then Steel Collider Mirror also. So it's literally just Scorching Flame Burst meta that Harpies was, like, performing really well. Right, Harpy Lady comes back down. The old Harpy Lady sisters. Where are we going with this? Summon out another Harpy Lady sisters. We have the middle piece this time. We can activate its effect, shuffling back 2 of our Wind Wing Beast monsters. Boost by 500. We still have our skill to boost by another 500. We know our opponent is almost certainly on Widespread Ruin. So we just boost up our one that has Trap Protection. Swing in for 21. Deck 2 now including deck build box. Nice. I think leave the ban list as it is. Cyclone isn't needed as all decks now have access to their back row removal anyways. Yeah, but I think the idea is, did they have it when that box was a thing, I guess, right? So it's like, if we go to like Evolving Rising Heart, for example. I mean, okay, all of these decks have theirs. It's just Harpies, really. But Harpies were one of the big users of Ghost Cyclone. The level ups aren't in the first deck. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a good point, actually, for the first one. I forget that's like how we got the initial back row hate cards. Okay, we jump up, put the candy in the bin, bring out the Prima, use the jump start. The thing is, where are we going with this? It all depends what that back row is. And I feel like if we had a Jamp check, we would have used it by now. So it comes down to like, are we trying to get Melody going? But then we would get Melody out first. We're using another Jamp up. So is our hand just bricked up with high levels? Is that what's going on right now? Man, I need to sit down and look at these decks. Not much time. This is another thing I've never really liked. I don't really like the Esperard tech that some players have. It just feels like super high roll. Like sometimes Esperard is like crazy, but most of the time it doesn't do anything. Another 1500 beta. Esperard is garbage. The thing is, 1 in like 15 games, Esperard will win you the game on its own. And then the other 14 games, it is a liability that basically should have probably been a melody. So, like, I don't hate it. I just think, I personally don't think it's worth playing. Oh, no. No delay. Oh, there is a delay. Okay. Oh. Oh. Only 1,800. Ursus could steal this. 1,800 is not a high amount of life points. Now I have this level 1 Prismatic from a free pack as well. Never use Esperard to be honest, but have good attack. It's a weird one, because it also has 0 defense. And like, if you look at this board, how hard would a shield and sword go right now? Alright, we're going to shuffle back some cards, give ourselves another boost. So that's 36, which is 2,100 over. We have found a way to steal the game. We needed exactly that. The only other thing we could have done would have been TSA. And that looks like game. I don't know if the Japanese player did surrender one of those games, or if like if they bricked and just gave up, or if it was like a legit game. Oh, Manicist. What was the guy that beat you? It was on Cyber Dragon, right? Because he's been knocked out in the top 8. So I need to keep an eye on this. Dwan beat his opponent 2-0, so I also need to find out what Dwan's opponent was on. Unfortunately, the VTuber might be gone into the ether. We might not be able to find out what they were playing. Yeah, Cybers. Honestly, that match. I mean, you know, it happens. I wouldn't worry about it too much. Now the question is, which game are we going to jump into? So there is Dwan versus Monarch, and there is Ursus versus a guy that 2-0'd Ra. It's like all my bad luck and all his good luck just came together to bully Vulcan. Right, we are going to be watching Dwan's game. So what is this Yuga playing? This could be Vulcan. Could be Machines. Could be SAR. Could be Hammer Crush Deal. Alright, so Yuga will be starting. I did eliminate a Psychic match 1, and it was super close to, so feel good regardless. I mean, yeah, we also beat a Psychic game 1, so we felt pretty good about that. I still don't feel good about my loss to Dwan. Like, I still think Dwan is, like, a better player than us, and he was playing a better deck. But, like, I didn't spot those lines that you spotted at all, Manicist. And then, obviously, I don't even know if I'd call it a misplay, but, like, we kind of threw the game away. So like, that just feels bad, knowing that I did have the win and I didn't get it. That's what feels bad. So it is Machines. Okay. See, this is always the downside. Is we get to the semi-finals and we should be like, oh, semi-finals, let's go, let's see who's gonna win. And then it's like it's Cyburst versus Machines in like the exact same form they've been in for like 5 months now, and it's like I've watched this matchup so many times. We are going to use Chaos Femboy, and we're going to add back a Yggdrago piece. Are we just leaving an Yggdrago piece in hand then? Is that the play here? Looks like we are. Okay. Bully in for some damage. Soon, Tomato, soon. I mean, I hope so. Again, I don't want to get, like, overhyped for, like, oh, we're going to get elemental heroes, I'm going to get this, I'm going to get that, I'm going to get this, I'm going to get that. And, oh, the new skills, they could, like... And then, like, it comes out, and then we still just see, like, Machine winning tournaments, and I'm like... Bruh. Like, I really, really hope we get a bit of a meta shakeup. And again, I still don't think this meta that we're in right now is bad. It's just stale. That's the issue. And it's almost a weirder problem to have. Because, like, if you play, for example, a Time Wizard format, right? If you're playing GOAT, if you're playing Edison, that meta is nothing but stale, right? There is, like, mild innovation, but for the most part, it's the same decks every time. And that works perfectly fine for those formats, right? It's just... I don't know. It's a weird one. It's a weird one. It's like, I'm completely fine with it in like, Edison, but I don't like it in Duel Links. It's a weird one. You don't grind it. That is a very good point. That is a very good point. Yeah, whenever you grind a ladder, you just always want something fresh, right? Just every time. Realistically, like Edison, I would play like 3 games in a week. And if I play Duel Links, I'm playing like 50 games in a week, right? So I guess when you put it like that. Okay. Dwan's got an okay board here. We summoned out the 1500 attack. That's not easy to punish, realistically, for machines. And we are still seeing the Rhythmical Performer in some of these machine lists. We're then going to activate... Oh, so we do get the chance to bring back a Side Attack Alligator. 50, those are rookie numbers. Listen, I have shit to do, Manicus, right? I can't just play the game all day, every day. I can't. Not to mention, so it's one thing being busy, right? It's one thing to be like, oh, I've got like work to do, I've got family stuff to do, I've got other commitments I have to take care of. But on top of that, I still have like an active social life that I try and keep up with. So like something has to give, right? I can't have like my various different hobbies, including Duel Links and obviously like YouTube content creation, streaming, as well as just everything else. There's just not enough hours in the day. I've really, really tried to make a concerted effort to try and like be more active on Discord though. That's something I've really tried. Because for the longest time, I just didn't really care for Discord. I was like, oh, you know, I'll message when someone interacts with me. But I've been actively trying to be a bit more active. So we're going to need to get confirmation off of Ursus and Dwan at some point. Although by the look of it, they might meet in the finals. We did say at the start of the stream, we were like, maybe we'll see Dwan versus Ursus in the finals. And it's looking like we might go that way. Although Ursus does have to win another game with his Harpy list, which I do think is going to be a little bit trying. Okay, so we have a 3100 attack Hydron. We also have the Receptacle Marnie, which is going to go ahead and weaken the Mirror Innovator. Have we used our skill? So we have already used it. Okay, so we're just going to swing over, get some like okay damage in. The downside is we're down to 22. So if we do manage to get a big Innovator Aim Eagle play going, the game can just end. Oh my god, there it is. That's going to be the end of the game. There's no way Dwan survives this. Just one of the massive weaknesses. Oh my... Are we actually going to get beaten down with Wimps as well? Oh, we're not. We're not. Okay, okay. Innovator comes down. Don't need to do anything. We'll just ram into it. Not going to bother spinning plates. There is no need. So, that is going to be... I don't know which game that was. Let's see what happens in what I assume is game 2. So we're going to be seeing Dwan at the top and his Japanese opponent at the bottom. We should probably find out what this name is rather than just calling people just like... This is Monarch. Yeah, so Monarch at the bottom. Monarch is not playing Monarchs, however. Monarch is playing machines. And And he has won the coin toss twice, so Dwan's probably feeling a little bit hard done by because of that. Tribute set. I would assume that's going to be a Gold Rush or a Tough Striker. Let's see what Dwan has on the Crackback. Only 3 defense monsters. We know one of them is a tribute monster. We can't obviously weaken it because it's face down. Defense won't be that high, but if we don't have a boss monster of our own to punch over it, we probably won't be able to clear it. We are going to start with Reset Runner. And we're going to summon out an Yggdrago piece. So this tells me we're probably going to be sending both of them to the graveyard to get out double boss. I went second every single game, which I'm okay with because it meant I couldn't get sacked by Essel and could get value from Samurai when they just set pass. I think it's a weird one, right? Because going first is good if you're able to maintain cards going into your second turn. If you can't do that, going first doesn't mean a lot, right? Going first is really good when you say, okay, but I'm going into turn 2 with 8 cards instead of 5, right? That is when it becomes really powerful. If you don't do that, it doesn't really mean much. Outside of, like, maybe you get to be the one that gets to attack into your opponent's attack mode monsters first. Like, you get that priority, I guess. Whoa, Shield and Sword again? This is a very early Shield and Sword, though. I guess it's like use it before you lose it sort of thing. Because, like, again, if we just find a particle acceleration, we can just pop it. The issue is that back row. So he's probably kicking himself that he had a monster left on the field and thus couldn't actually use this Boltricorn. If that back row is a Widespread Ruin, this could just be over. If it's nothing, though... Oh my god. So, it's fine, right? Dwan is going to lose his board. He's always going to lose it anyway. He does take a bit of damage. Basically, we've traded Legend for Legend, but Monarch's board now is so weak. Like, this is so easy to break over and potentially set up a really strong board for himself. Let's see what Dwan has here. He only had 1 boss monster last turn as well, and it was not a particularly good one, which means there's a good chance we actually have some good bosses now. We are only going to be summoning 1 boss, though. Who is it going to be? Is it Attribute Hydron? We don't have the graveyard set up for Hydron yet. But it's still a really nice card to have. Using its effect, we have 3,000 attack. We do get in for 4,100 damage, which is not bad by any stretch. Draw 5. Now, we still could quite easily out this board, but it is going to depend on what we've drawn. We are going to start off with Crafter Drone. We have gotten rid of one of our bricks already. Now it's going to come down to how many more do we have in hand. We should have 1 Aim Eagle left, unless we've already drawn into it. And so we are using the skill to get the Aim Eagle out of the deck. We are going to put back a Gold Rush, or we're going to reveal that we have a Gold Rush. We're actually going to put back the Crafter Drone. That tells me we're going to be summoning that Gold Rush probably off of this Aim Eagle. So there goes Essel. We're not going to activate Essel, so we don't want any more cards in the bin. We are going to cheat out the Gold Rush. I say cheat out, we're just going to grab it out. Eagle can't be used with Crafter, so it makes sense. I mean, yeah, but it depends what else he had in hand, right? If he had another boss monster that he could summon. I mean, I guess if you had another boss... Well, it's a weird one, because his opponent didn't have 3 cards, which means... that wouldn't matter, because you have to give up a card to do it. The only way it would have mattered would have been if we had Boltricorn. Not Boltricorn. Bicorn. If we had Bicorn. But then we couldn't have used it with, it's always a bit awkward when you're staring down a 2500 attack monster. So we got an Yggdrago piece. We have the reset runner down. We're going to use the skill. And it looks like we're targeting both. So we have 2 boss monsters. This is looking very, very good for Dwan. Unfortunately, it's always the Yggdrago head. I'm wondering if Dwan is playing triple Yggdrago head. Tribute over the last monster to summon out Perceptical Money. So this is like fine. Obviously, Perceptical Money always clears no matter what. This is why we need to ban Essel for real. Essel is a weird one where Essel has not been as impactful in the meta for a while, but like whenever it does pop off, it's still really annoying. Like really annoying. I'm only at the start of your YouTube video because I fell asleep watching. Thanks, Bannikers. But what does normal monster skill allude to? The one where we push, making 18 become 26. So in my mind, that is a UO thing because of God, what's that card even called? The Megami, whatever that thing is. That makes the most sense for me, but there's like a bunch of cards it does work with. Okay, I misplayed, didn't matter. So was that game 2 or was that game 3? But for me, the most interesting use of it is going to be the dinosaurs. I don't know if it's a good combination with the dinosaurs, but like, you know, I lost 1 to 2. That's a shame. What did you play against in the top 8 one? Who did you beat 2-0? What were they on? So I needs the data. So I assume we're going to head over to Ursus's game. And looks like Ursus is down a game. $40 cards Cyburst. Okay. Okay. Not what I was expecting you to say, but... What's going to happen to your data from Grand's tournament? Just ignore it? Yeah, unfortunately, it's just going to be a big ignore. Which is a shame, but it means I don't have to edit my sheet anymore, which is quite nice. One format I have actually liked is I really like the monosync tournaments because they're double elimination. It's very clear who came first, second, third, fourth, fifth, like sixth. And then I think 7th and 8th is basically the same. But just because of the way a double elimination bracket works, you just get to like plot it very nicely. Well, double Melody is super spooky, but despite having double Melody, we've only... I mean, we haven't done anything, right? Like, he hasn't got any damage in yet. Which is kind of what Melody does. It gets damage in. That is pretty big. Getting the candy here. We'll activate the skill, grab the jump up. Time to give deck 1 and 3 the last finish and decide which deck 2 I play. There's a lot of interesting ways to go. Like, I was having, like, a little bit of it, but... Actually, I misplayed Matted. Well, at least I know I could have had a chance. Unfortunately, yeah, we haven't been, like, fixating on the games. So I couldn't tell you if we spotted the misplay or not. I can tell you we didn't spot the misplay. Alright, jump. Check. Ooh. That is pretty rough. And now we know that back row's nothing, so we can just spin a monster. We're not paying the life points because it's not going to be a lethal amount of damage, but we could have got an extra 900 in if we wanted to. Put our opponent down to 500. I don't think that really matters for Harpies. Or we have drawn the Tribute to the Doomed. It does clear a monster, but it does also cost us 2 cards from our hand. Ooh, this is not looking good for Ursus, and he's already down a game. Okay, we do have the slime. So that's fine. I didn't catch what we milled there. So we did attack again, see if there's any delay. I'm going to assume there wasn't a delay. Set 3, tribute out the Harpy Lady Sisters middle piece. We do have a new back row. So if our Psychic player does have a way to hit a back row, they will obviously want to hit that fresh one. Jump up is going to get us back 1,000 life points as well as Arcane D. And we can also use it to put Prima back in the deck, so we have something to search. Activate the skill, target Arcane D, grab out the Prima we just put back. Activate the Jump up. Now, it's still all going to come down to what that back row is. If that back row is... I don't know if Ursus has already used it. It was the legend! That's so big. That is actually so big. We tribute, summon out another Harpy Lady Sisters middle piece. We're down to only 5 cards in deck. Summon out another Harpy Lady Sisters. Then we're going to summon out another Harpy Lady Sisters. So we're playing... Right, it doesn't matter. We don't have to bother playing around anything. How much damage is this? We don't have piercing. So this is not going to be a lethal amount of damage. Down to 14. Now we know that Ursus isn't going to have anything left. So if we just have one big push, we could just win the game here. Now he had nothing. He had absolutely nothing. You can't stall out against Harpies because they can flip your monster's face up. Can I please exchange my 22k channel points for 22 in-game gems? I think I will need those soon. Unfortunately, we don't do that here. I left 1500 attack on the board when he had 3 level 7 monsters in the graveyard. I should have tributed over it. I see, I see, I see. Now, I wish 22 to 62k gems. Easy. I mean, I wish I could convert my own channel points into gems. I'm still trying to go through my collection to see what I have. Yeah, it's obviously going to be a mild negative, is there will be some players that just can't play in the tournament because they just haven't been playing that long and they just don't open every pack. Oh no. Oh no. And just like that, is it over? It looks like it might be Jova. Which means, unfortunately, none of us Westerners made it to the finals, which is a bit of a shame. But it is what it is. Well, it hasn't been confirmed yet. We'll just wait and see what happens. We'll wait and see what happens. I can only assume it's going to be confirmed. Three meta decks in top 4, not a meme tournament pod. I mean, there is a... Oh, it looks like we are replaying that last game. Okay, so this should be 1-1 then. This should be 1-1. I mean, you know, we got Harpies in there, and Harpies is still kind of a meme. On the plus side, we do actually have 4 different decks in top 4, which is something, right? Right. I am going to go and get some sort of caffeinated drink, because I am fading here. So I'm going to turn my camera off briefly, hop downstairs and grab a drink. I'll leave this game on so y'all can watch it, but I will be right back. Hello everyone, I have returned. We went and got a nice chilled coffee. Right, where are we? So, Ursus has used his skill and the effect of Harpy Lady's Sisters to boost up to 3100 attack. We are summoning out a Tyhone. We will be clearing, and Psychic almost certainly has nothing that's going to be able to stand up to this. Psychic kind of notorious for having very low defense monsters. Summon out the Candy. So we're going to be activating the skill. This will get us a search. Now what we're going to take, it's usually very telling. So we're going to search the Prima. So he probably just didn't have any other bosses. Oh, that is a huge mill off of Rhythmical Performer. That is actually huge. Ah, that could spell the end of the game. We're going to have to see what Ursus has to combat this. So we know we have a Prima. That's the only information I believe that we have currently. Jamp check. We are going to be able to hit that trap card. No more recital for Ursus. Jamp up. Okay, so this is almost certainly going to be our Prima. So this is a ton of damage, but... Jamp start. So do we have another boss monster we want to summon? We must do, right? Summon out the Candy again. Jamp up again! What is this going to be? If this is Prima, this is going to be so much damage. Okay, it's not Prima. So theoretically, that could have been an extra 2,700 damage on the board. Like, this is still lethal because it's Psychic, right? This is just Psychic did Psychic things. There was not really a lot Ursus could have done there. Even if he had kept his recital, it still did not matter. Psychic just that good. If you just get the God Hands, like you can't do anything about it. That's just it. That's just how it goes. It's one of those weird ones where I think Psychic is a really cool deck. The numbers are just a bit too high, right? Prima gets those numbers a little bit too high. Jamp up gets those numbers a little bit too high. The skill being able to give you a +1 feels like it's a little bit too good. It's a very polarizing deck. But we will be seeing Machines versus Psychic in the final, a final we have seen for the last 2 months. I mean, you played well, Ursus. You definitely played well. Ursus, actually, while I've got you, what did you play in the top 8? What did you play against? You played against someone... I could not tell you what their name is, but you played against them, and we never got to see it on stream, so I don't know what they were playing with, what deck they were on. And I needs it for the spreadsheet. It's already going to be incomplete, unfortunately. One of the games has just gone to the ether. We can scour back through later and see if it was on stream at any point, but... Play versus Psychics. Okay, so you... So did you play against Psychics and then Psychics again? You just kind of had a Psychic run? Oh no, clown? What are you referring to, Kim friend? I hope you're not calling me a clown. It wouldn't necessarily be an inaccurate statement, but yeah, back to back. Bismuth used SAR. I mean, SAR's a pretty cool deck. I do like the SAR. SAR and Harpies have always been a really weird matchup as well. Alright, so we do have our final game, Machines versus Psychic. We have the player that managed to take down Dwan and the player that managed to take down Ursus. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see the finals we wanted to see, which would have been Dwan versus Ursus, but... Let's see what happens here. Is it time for the Psychic sweep? Well, a lot of Psychics have actually been knocked out. So, like, we'll have to see what this Psychic player can do. But, like, there were a lot of Psychic in the event, and not very many made it to top 8. Go Rush! Welcome on in, Drake! Caught us in the very final game of the tournament. So, our Psychic player doesn't get to do any kind of aggression, but does empty the entire hand, which is really scary. Like, this Machine player is almost basically forced to put some sort of aggression on, and if we don't actually have access to Innovator, it's not really the amount of aggression that he really wants to be applying. We'll have to see what we actually get here. Okay, sending the Melody to the graveyard's pretty good. Flip up the Gold Rush. Reveal the second Gold Rush. So, this is a bit awkward. This has basically just gotten a brick out of our hand. We contribute 2, probably something out of second Gold Rush. Okay, this is the Innovator, so we probably shuffled back the Gold Rush then. We'll get a summon of a 15. So we are likely going to be able to clear this. It depends what the back row is, but will we even bother using any here? Like, we maybe would use a Widespread Ruin. I don't think we'd use anything else here. So we still going to get to clear 2 monsters, which is good. Right, getting rid of 2 monsters is still good. The Psychic player does, though, has 7 cards going into this turn. It's all going to depend on what that back row is. If that back row is really good, this could get really spooky. Also, just having more tribute fodder is obviously always going to be really, really strong. If we get a draw off of this Rhythmical Performer as well, that could be really, really good. Okay, we don't find it. We've got Speedy as well. A lot of players have opted to not play Speedy. So we are boosting up to 19. Right. I assume we're going to be tributing over these 2. And we are going to be sending out the Prima. Now, do we have another 1500 beta is the question. If we get a 1500 beta and a back row, that's so big. Okay, we're activating the Jam start. So we're going to put 2 of our cards back into the deck. Grab back. Oh, we haven't actually used the skill yet. Have we? No, we didn't use the skill, right? Would it have been worth it to use the skill? I would make an argument for... I mean, maybe we did use the skill and I wasn't paying attention. But if we hadn't... Our Speedy people use it so they don't waste Jam up to clear a 2500. It's also a reason I've seen a lot of people using, I forget what she's called. The Candy, 2500 guy. And then, Esperon. This Machine player doesn't play many spell traps, so Rhythmical should usually miss versus him. Yeah, but occasionally it will land, right? And when it does, that's still going to be really devastating. So we get back our Avant Wolf. We can summon it out. Yeah, Reedy, that one. Okay, we do get to clear. So we could have crashed. We chose not to. It's an awkward feeling on whether you crash there or not. Because it's a set monster, it can be melodied away. Also, if we did have a Prima, we could boost higher off of it. And giving your opponent more tribute fodder by letting them keep a 1500 is also kind of risky. But I don't think it was necessarily a misplay to set the monster. It's just it's not necessarily always the correct play. Again, specifically in this matchup. Typically, you don't want to crash. Typically. But, like, it's not a hard and fast rule. So we do pop the slime. We do have a back row. Clear a 1500 vanilla. Clear the other 1500 vanilla. Now, what was this last card? It was an Essel. Okay. So draw back up to 5. Where are we going with this? We start out with Roman Pick, who is not online because we have exactly the same life points. And this is going to presumably boost our life points up. This is very awkward. This is something that actually happens a lot with Roman Pick. Is you'll draw into it and you'll be like, it's just not live. I just can't do anything with it. Ironically, in this matchup, usually that isn't the case. Usually machines do get that chunk of piercing damage in. We're going to summon out the Candy. Presumably we're going to use the skill on this Candy. We're going to summon out Melody and then we're going to use the skill. Doesn't really make much difference, but... Then we can spin the back row, grab a card to hand. Presumably it'll be a Jamp Up or a Prima based on which other one we have. There's no point in putting that Prima into our hand unless we already have a Jamp Up or we just have a second normal summon. We do have the Jamp Up. Reaches finals and still doesn't read their cards properly. Right, we'll summon out the Prima. We have a 1500 beta as well. Now, is that last card in hand a back row? This is so much damage. There it is. There it is. This is what I mean. The numbers are too big, right? The numbers are too big. That is my issue with the Psychic deck. I think it pluses too well. The back row hate is too good. And the numbers are too big. Like, they're the three, like, big knocks against the deck. The thing is, I don't know how you easily fix that. Like, if you even want to. If people even think it's a problem. If you were to fix it. I think the numbers being too big is the biggest issue. But, like, what do? Change it so that you can't search Jamp Up? But then you could just hard draw the Jamp Up and it would just be the same problem. You still don't get the plus as easily, I guess. Having the plus be restricted to only boss monsters, though, does mean that you will occasionally be in a situation where you're like, well, I could get a plus, but I will be bricking because I can't get rid of this out of my hand. Yeah, because Prima plus 2 monsters versus 3 monsters, an additional 2700 damage. Yeah, it is pretty crazy. That's the thing. If you're able to, for example, Candy, Jamp Up, Prima, right? You've just got double 37 that can then boost your entire board by 900, which is just so insane. Now, I mean, look at the monsters we're getting in Dragiastar. I think the skill should be nerfed to shuffle and add, but otherwise, I think it will be fine come next box's skills. See, I think that's another weird one for me. I think the Dragiastar and the Seven's Paladin skills, just like on paper, without knowing the cards we're getting to go alongside everything, on paper, those skills look really good. Like, just really strong. By comparison, a lot of the other skills look kind of weak. Like, I want all of the new decks to be really good. Oh no, we're buffering. But I'm worried that the fusion decks might... Like, the fusion skills do what they need to do. They give you a plus. They make things more consistent. They do what it needs to do. I worry that it's still not going to be quite enough. And then the other skills that aren't the fusion skills, I feel like look too weak. And thus are also not going to be enough. So it's going to come down, in my opinion, to card quality. Could make the damage halved on the monster summoned with Jamp up the turn use the skill or something. I mean, you could. The problem is, then it makes the skill feel bad. Like, no one plays Gear Strike because it halves the damage. And it halves the damage for a good reason. Because otherwise you just kill people. But people just stopped playing it because they were like, well, I don't... If I halve the damage, I'm not doing the Mirror Gears thing, which is killing your opponent really quickly. It's a weird one. It's a really hard, like, line to walk, right? So we're going to Tribute 2. I'm going to assume this is going to be an Innovator. There he is. I don't know, the Dragius one is straight up plussing, so it depends, well, so is the other one, but they're both plussing. I think the skills, for the most part, are tame, not necessarily bad right now, because we don't know what we're getting, obviously. It's one of those things, though, where when you plus with a deck, this whole thing is it's going to minus a shit ton to get your boss monster out. It's very different than when you play a deck that pluses and doesn't minus themselves a shit ton to get their boss monsters out, right? So, fusion decks need to plus, in my opinion, to just not feel like you're investing all of your resources into one thing that's probably going to die and then, I guess, get fucked. Versus Psychic, which don't have to invest a ton into their boss monsters. They have to invest very little and potentially get to see better rewards. That's like the difference. Time to put Premier to limit 3. I don't think I'd go that far. I think I would change the skill. I think that's what I would do. I also think if I was going to hit anything, it would probably be Jamp Check. Like back to 1 maybe. Just because Jamp Check is so good. Like it's such a good card. Yuo skills are also pretty good if we get his new support. I think we're going to get Reactor. I think it is still up in the air if we're definitely going to get the new boss monster. I'm hoping we don't get the new fusion. I don't want the new Yuo fusion coming out. I think that it's pushing it a bit far because it's like a fusion. And I think we don't want that this early. Problem is his deck isn't the strongest. Yeah, his main deck is all vanillas. Like it is nothing but vanillas. And some of those vanillas don't have good stats. What do you think about the Void Strike Dragon Zero Gygeus? Well, first we want to get the other dragons, right? We need Zero Geas and we need whatever the other one's called. It's okay. The downside has always been, again, it's a heavy investment, right? Because it's what, 2 high-level dragons, and then its effect like lets you make a guy have 0 attack. Like it's a good card. It's just, again, expensive. I'll be playing him either way. Problem you will have is, will they give us fusions that counter the meta? Because none of our these skills change their types, so we're gonna have to rely on the opponent. Yeah, I did think that was a bit weird. Maybe it's because if you could change your opponent's type, it would be too good. Like, Eracle Star's effect is balanced around the fact it only works on one type, and like spinning spellcasters is just not as good as spinning other cards. But if you could force your opponent's guys to be spellcasters, and then you just have a boss that says, I'm just going to shuffle 2 of your monsters into your deck, deal with it. That's so good. That's so good. Clad Skull and Null Strike. Yeah. Yeah, I think, like I said, I think he's good. He's just expensive. What do you think about the other new main deck effect monster, Leading Actor? Leading Actor's good. I think Leading Actor could potentially push the deck over the edge a little bit and make it actually, like, really strong. But it's always still going to have to fall back on those fusion monsters. And, like we say, If the fusion monster isn't doing something good without having to be relying on its type effect, then it'll be fine. Like the Ashura Star pops face down cards. That is always going to be good, no matter what, right? Eracle Star, not so good, because it spins cards in the graveyard, and that'll be it, unless your opponent's playing spellcasters, right? Would make sense why they let us put fusion in the graveyard as material for the skill. Yes, I don't think that's overly telling, though, because I would expect we're going to get Starry Start, and Starry Start does the exact same thing. You just need to put a vanilla in the graveyard, and you need to put... I think that's just a 2-0, right? So we've just seen Psychic win the tournament, as we were just yapping over it. So that is another tournament win for the Psychic deck, which does mean, since this is the last, like, proper tournament, I guess, like... What's the word? What's the, like, the most polite way to phrase this? Or, like, the most politically correct, or the most, like... doesn't want to sound like a jab. This is the last, like, regular tournament. And so, what we can do is go ahead and... If we just close this, we don't need this up anymore. If we jump over here, we can take a look at the data. We can see Psychic has ended the meta with 7 tournament wins. 7! We'll also just, like, fiddle around with this a little bit. There we go. That's rearranged everything back to how it should be. So Psychic, 7 tournament wins! 7 tournament wins! The last tournament of the format. Yes, I mean, there is still one more tournament, right? That will be Grand's tournament, but it's a bit funky because Grand's tournament has, like, different rules. Last entirely modern format tournament. Yes, 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 yes. So, it had 28 top 4s. Again, pinch of salt. It has been performing well, but it's also very, very popular, right? So, you got to also factor that in. The representation of Psychic is also very, very high, so it is going to naturally have a higher conversion rate. But still, 28 over the next highest being 13 is pretty nutty. Graham will have to admit they're good. He'll double down. He will double down. Beginning of the year, people hate Psychic. End of the year, people hate Psychic. I love the contrast. So Cyberse barely ending as the second best deck. They still do have less tournament wins, but individual wins I don't think should trump overall performance. Just because, as we've seen even today, some games can be won and lost off of, like, one very small thing. So, like, overall, I'm still going to put more value in, like, you know, points top 8. So, Cyberse did outperform Machines, but they're still very, 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 very close. Then we actually had Royal Rebels, who actually managed to sneak in. Royal Rebels, for a lot of this meta, were kind of halfway down the list. But they did manage to sneak in 3 tournament wins, so again, more than Cyberse, and 19 total points in the top 4. Also, why is that, like, covering that? That is very annoying. What are you doing, Overlay? Get out of there. Get out of there. That's a lot easier to see. See, look how nice that looks. We've seen more Cyberse since Psychic's rise to power than we have seen in Machines. Psychic skill is like Cyberse if they didn't have to return a card. Kind of. Because you get a discount on your monsters. That's basically plussing. It's like... yeah, it is basically plussing. Machines almost seem like the most fair when you put it like that, right? Machines, like, they get Mirror Innovator, but it's basically Mirror Innovator the deck. Take Mirror Innovator out of Machine. What is Machine? It's kind of crap. Overlay, Xyz is not here. Jambo, this is Rush. Not talking about that just yet. But we have Royal Rebels again doing quite well, and I think it's very telling as well that these ended up as the top 4 decks when these were the 4 decks that almost every single player took to Worlds, right? So that's pretty big. Machines without Ghost Cyclone have a hard time to plus early game. Yes, it's basically Essel, and then, like, Bicord is kind of plussing if you squint at it in the same way that, like, Cyberse is plussing, right? Machines have the most fair skill, but most unfair monster. Psychics have an unfair skill, but more than fair monsters. I would argue Melody is very good and has been broken many times in Russia's history. So I'm not going to say it's fair, but I will say it is a lot less frustrating and a lot less strong individually than Mirror Innovator, for sure. For sure. So SAR, 3 tournament wins, as just under Royal Rebels, and then Blue Eyes just below that as well. So these 3 basically all on top of each other. We'll also throw Bubble Air in there. It's slightly behind, but you know, it's been up there. So those are like the next best 4 decks, I guess, right? Mellow is fair though. That is already not a very true statement. It's only fair because in Duel Links you make a level 5 for free, or it's only unfair, I should mean. Make level 5 for free, which again is the skill being unfair, not the monster. So I will yield to you that if we didn't have the skill to give us a free level 5, as the card is right now, with the current card pool in Duel Links, the card is fair. I will give you that. But as we get more cards in the future, as we get more ways to cheat guys out, as we get more ways to start looping melodies together, it's a very unfair card. Just the way the card is designed and written is unfair, right? Anything you can like loop is always going to be really unfair. And then it just comes down to like resource generation, right? If we're able to have enough resources that we can just spam out a bunch of guys, its value goes up. Now we don't have that right now. But as we go forward, we might get a lot more, which is another reason I'd hope Thunderbolt never comes out. I mean, we already showed the loop off in a previous stream, but just Thunderbolt, Melody, Candy is like full combo. And you get to spin your opponent's entire board back, which is like so silly. It's just a little 3-card combo. Bam, your entire board's gone. Should I invest in Blue Eyes because Fusion is coming? So, right, Blue Eyes is a weird deck. First off, the current skill we have is like, it's good, but I personally have never been a fan of skills that require us to play 7 bosses. That feels like ass immediately. Second, even the modern Blue Eyes deck, right? So the deck people are playing in the physical rush game relies on Burst Stream of Destruction to get damage in. They don't have any piercing, they don't have any multi-attack. So because of that, us only having 1 copy of it and it being limited 1 is going to hurt how effective that deck can be. Right now, the deck still can struggle to get damage in, and we are relying on the Monarchs to kind of clear some of that out of the way if we can. I'm also not sure how long it's going to take for Blue Eyes to actually receive its like fusion support. That might be quite a way away, but we don't know yet. Vulcan, next best deck. I mean, I guess you could like put all of these together. These are all reasonably close. If you want, you could like separate them by like, I don't know, maybe these ones. So Bubble Era, Vulcan, Resonance, Harpies, Cyber Dragon, like all done quite well. Ice Arc, Aggro, and Worm have been fine. And then like the kind of bringing up the rear, Noodles, Thunder, they've been doing okay. They've been doing okay. But yeah, that is this format done. That's Transcendence Mirror Gears over. So it'll be interesting to see what the next product we get is, because this will be almost 2 months of this format. 57 days will be the time spent on since Transcendence Mirror Gears came out. So you've had about 2 months, right? 2 months of the format. I think that's an okay length for a format, personally. All right, but let's talk about the news that we got, right? Because we have some interesting news. First things first, we have the speed ban list. Speed ban list is cool, right? We were waiting for a speed ban list. Getting a speed ban list, very exciting. The actual changes on the speed ban list, not as exciting. I think there were a lot of decks that people were hoping we were going to get hit that kind of didn't get touched. So, Puzzleomino is a really weird one. I can't remember which deck was using this, but I have seen this card played. And I do remember it being a bit of a pain in the ass, but again, I do not know the speed meta well enough to tell you which deck this was in. So this going to 1, I think, is probably, like, fine. Right? That's a good hit. Beatrice to 1 is probably a good hit. Again, a lot of decks have been using... Well, a lot of decks in history have used Beatrice. I think right now, the main Beatrice deck is Fleur? I couldn't tell you if there's a better rank 6 deck. It's Fleur. There we go. Then Crocutus coming back is cool, right? It's probably fine. In fact, I think we were talking about Crocutus last week and saying about how, like, why is this still on the list? He can't wait till they also ban her in Duel Links. I mean, eventually. And now Bish and Puzzle are limit 1. Puzzle mode is nerfed because of Bish Balkan, but you still can make Bish Balkan with 1 card without Puzzle. So, why are we not just hitting Bish? Is it because it's an anime card and we're just like, why not just ban it? If it's that annoying, just get rid of it. Just get rid of it. Limit 3, Scepter to 3. I think personally, like, Star Seraph needed a hit. Was Scepter the right hit though? I think we'll also do. We'll also change this around a bit because we currently have this set to thingy. So we do this. There we go. That looks better. That looks nicer. So Scepter, I think I would have rather seen Scales get hit over Scepter personally. But, like, it's fine. Also, the skill did get changed a little bit as well. So, like, that's also fine. It's a bit weird as well. We're seeing the Dark Lord stuff getting unhit. Maybe Quantum will be happy about that. I know Quantum did play, like, what was it, Orcust Dark Lord at one point. I'm not really sure where that's going to go. Ghost Trick Scare is a weird one as well. I assume there was something going on with this, but I couldn't tell you what it was. Personal Spoofing is now unlimited. I don't know how I feel about this, because Altergeist is a deck that I absolutely detest playing against. I do not want to play against Altergeist ever. So them getting this back makes me a little bit worried. I'm not a big fan personally. I don't know if there's any Altergeist fans in the chat. And instead of hitting Samsara, Konami unlimits Spirit Master. Yeah, Samsara, I again, absolutely despise Samsara. They said Ghost Trick is getting limited because of future releases. Ah, okay. That makes sense. I mean, future-proofing. If they know what's coming down the pipeline, we don't, right? Target a Gaga monster. Okay, that's special. So I never played, by the way, through Onomatopoeia format, so I have no idea what I know the Onomatopoeia deck was really, really strong. I don't know what their cards do, for the most part. The target a Gaga monster in a graveyard, special summon, equip this card. When this card leaves the field, destroy the monster. When this card is sent to the graveyard, because equip monsters using almost so this is just premature burial that gives a boost when you use it for overlay. Okay. I'm sure this was really broken at some point, but it's probably fine now. Dragon Pit. Monster if you have a Magician card. And so this was hit because of Raging Pendulum, right? So that's probably fine to come back. Pendulum Call was probably also hit because of Raging Pendulum. Pacifist, again, hasn't really done anything. I don't think we have to worry about it. This was at 1 to stop you from playing Onomat Orcust. It's always Orcust, isn't it? Everything always comes back to Orcust. Ding is just too strong. Torn Scales. I mean, it wasn't that long ago that Phantom Knights were like one of the top decks. Like, it was still a while, but like it wasn't that long ago. It was still like the last like 3 months, right? Only 1 of 5 meta decks really hit. The more more Altergeist and zombies around, so format is unchained. Or unchanged, not unchained. Although Unchained was around. Spirit Master, I really don't like... right, I will say, right, as much as a lot of people don't like Zombie Pile, I think Zombie Pile as a deck is kind of cool. I know a lot of people might not like that opinion, but I think a lot of the just generic zombie cards are really cool. Now, there is some things I would like changed, like, was it Mizuki Gozuki not being hard once per turn? That should probably not be a thing. But I think overall, I kind of just like it. I don't, however, like Shiranui. I am really, really not a fan of Shiranui. And again, it's not even Shira I have a problem with. Shira is fine. I think them doing their combo lines is cool. Them going through all their synchros and their link monsters is fine. It's just the trap card. I want Samsara gone. So bad. I hate that trap card so much. Shiranui is cool. Their trap is bullshit. Exactly. Yeah, but Zombie Pile is at least fun. Now Shiranui, on the other hand, yes. Exactly. Just get... Again, it's not even Shiranui. Like, I think Shiranui's fine. I think it's just Samsara. I hate Samsara. It's the same as the birds. I don't really care about the birds too much. What I hate is that they have a Waboku built in, which means no matter what I do to get rid of their crap, Nightingale's effect is going to go off, and I can't kill them because it's like a lingering effect. And all lingering effects suck because you can't counterplay. It's negate it the second it happens, or get fucked. Those are your options. I don't like it. Samsara is their literalist Nightingale. Exactly. Shiranui is good. There is nothing bad about it. Now, when you say good, do you mean it's strong, or do you mean you just like it? A bad day for platinum rank players. Ugh. I mean, I think I'm in plat now. I've read an ad break. Welcome to the ad break, everyone. Exactly, Samsara is too much store memory. So now, instead of one copy, which is searchable, we play one copy that is searchable. I don't want more Samsara store. No one does. Does memory matter? Does it make any difference at all? I guess you can now play different limit 2s. That's the only thing that really changes with this. Both. Now, right, I will say this, right? Do you actually believe that, Dragson? Or are you just a Shiranui player and therefore, you know, are biased towards it? Because I am someone who, like, for example, I'm trying to think of a good example of something I play that's, like, busted. So back in Rush, when I was playing the Noodle deck, I understood that deck did things that were unfair. And so I knew going into that ban list that we were going to get, like, extra spice limit 3, and I was fine with that. I had already mentally prepared for that because I was like, I love this deck, but something needs to change, right? And I think that was fine. The downside for me was the skill got hit, which, again, would have been fine if the other good decks also got hit. So, like, that was my problem with that. Only in pure mech, others play one copy anyways. Well, I mean, I would say it's because we can now use other limit 2s. That's, like, the benefit of this, I guess. Transmodify's cool. I mean, I don't know if we're going to be seeing... Because Transmodify is typically for... Wait, is this what I thought it was? What do we use Transmodify with? What is Transmodify for? I thought this was a, God, what are the cards called? The Beast Warrior archetype. They had, like, the beasts that they use in the graveyard and you banish them to get their effects. Ah, I cannot remember what they're called. I thought it was that, but no, this is a different card. Infernity buff? Some World Chalice and Agents played it. I personally, not a fan of Agents, so I don't really want to see an Agent buff, so I'm not really... Bujin, thank you, Manicus. Bujin. Okay, so that's the changes. Now, what did this not hit? Also, hello, whoa. Welcome on in. Thank you for informing me that it was Bujin's. But what did we not hit? We did not hit the birds. Now, I didn't actually think we were going to hit the birds because I thought it was too soon. And a lot of people told me that we probably would hit the birds because they're very free to play. We can hit their free to play cards. So that would have been fine. I was still like, the cards are too new. I don't think we're going to hit it. So, like, I'm not too surprised the birds didn't get hit. But I would have liked to see the birds get hit harder. What else didn't we see get hit? We did not see... Well, we saw Seraph get hit a bit. We'll have to just kind of accept that for what it is right now. What about the Thunder Dragon deck? Did any of these hits hurt the Thunder Dragon deck? So I don't know if Thunder Dragon plays any of these cards. IRL, the card was used in ABC Dragon Buster for fun. See, I never played ABC format, so... people who actually thought birds were going to be hit were setting themselves up for disappointment. God, this list is bad. Pro, Seraph hits are okay, but we will see. The random unlimited cards are fun. Con, no bird hit, no striker hit, no Boral Link hit, no major Fleur hit, no Bish Balkan ban. So, we did hit Bish, just not as hard as we would have liked. It's a weird one. Play Posmo, but now it's replaced with a different Bish combo. Oh, is Thunder Dragon the Bish deck? Right. I knew... So I knew that Thunder Dragon played Bish, but I didn't realize it was the Bish deck. I thought there was like a separate Bish Balkan like turbo deck, but if that is just the Thunder Dragon deck, then I'm now on the same page. It's my first impression this morning. So... Boral Link was the number one place finish during the KC Cup. It is a deck that has been around for ages and ages and ages. Is Boral Link unfair? Because I think there are some decks that are going to really struggle to beat Boral Link. Because, for example, if you summon some of the boss monsters, they can just be really difficult to out, depending on what your deck actually does. But I actually think Boral Link is kind of fair, in a weird way. And I think Boral Link is like Speed's version of Machines, where it's not really doing anything too unfair. It has a couple of things which are a bit problematic. So, for example, in Rush, it would be Mirror Innovator is problematic, right? But it's a deck that's just like Machines. It's just been around for so long, right? I feel like every time I've gone to look at the tier list, look, it's Boral Link, it's there again. Just always hanging out on the list. There are a few versions of Bish Fleur Thunder Dragon is one of them. Yes, Silver Rocket and Searchable Lancia are toxic. If you get rid of that, it's fair. So again, why haven't we gotten rid of this deck yet? Right? Because again, for a games as a service and a TCG, I think it's healthy to rotate decks in and out of being really good. So for example, just because the Rocket deck has been around for so long, even if it was fair or not, just give it a little hit just to get it out of the way and then bring it back later, like unhit it later. Like just mix it up a little bit. Like just give me something, right? Not hitting Striker at all and then giving 12 new cards. Yeah, Striker is another weird one. I think we probably should have hit Striker. It's a weird one. I think it's difficult to hit Striker in a good way. I think no matter how you hit it, Striker players won't be happy, obviously, no matter what you do, because they're going to be getting their cards hit. But you don't want to, like, kill the deck. You just want to, like, curve its power level a bit. I think it's difficult to actually manage that. I do think, though, what people wanted was, like, all of these really good decks to kind of lose some power. And in the end, it's felt like nothing's really going to have changed. Now, obviously, we do have the skill changes as well. But a lot of these feel a bit whatever. Like, the big one is, like, Barry and Battle Morph, right? Which is the second effect is now once per turn, its third effect is now once per duel. This is the big change. Striker isn't hit because it sells well, and it has selection box cards. And it all comes out. Yeah, I think that is a shame that it's like that. Yeah, I don't know. Again, I really think... Right, who is hurt worse with this list, right? Because a lot of the best decks right now, I feel like, crap all over rogue decks, right? Now, that's always going to be a thing, right? Rogue decks are rogue because they're not as good as the meta decks, right? But I would say stuff like Lyrilusk, especially, and like some of the other decks up there, are very much rogue killers. They're like, oh, your rogue deck doesn't have this exact very specific out you need. Well, you can't win then. Like, the game's over. Or like, it's extraordinarily uphill, even more than it otherwise would be. So like, from that point of view, I'm like, well, that's going to make ladder experience a lot worse because, like it or not, most of the Duel Links community are ladder players. They never enter tournaments. They probably don't watch streams. They probably don't watch YouTube videos about Duel Links. They just queue up, play some ladder, have a great time. Most of them are probably in silver and gold, right? And that's the majority of the player base. And if those players, unfortunately, get shit on by birds, they're probably not having a great time. Now, the tournament players, they're also not going to be having a good time because either you have to play one of these, like, cringy, degenerate decks, or basically get your shit pushed in. Now, some people have a great time with this. Like, the really creative members of the community will be able to build these, like, very interesting, intricate decks that can, like, counter some of the meta. And they'll be probably having a great time. But overall, I feel like this is kind of a net negative for everyone. I guess unless, like, these decks are really much your pet decks, right? If there's a Lyrilusk, like, main, they're probably fine with this, right? All the Sky Striker mains, and there are a lot of them, are probably also fine with it. Only, like, 4 of the new Striker cards that were leaked are good to begin with. Well, I mean, 4 new cards is still really good, and you also have to always double that number. And what I mean by that is, because we only have half a deck, right? We have a 20-card deck instead of a 40-card deck. Effectively, you're going to see those cards twice as much, and you have half as many slots for your deck. So, like, it's still really good. But yeah, I think that's kind of it for the speed changes. Everyone's unhappy, except for Finn, who is really, really excited. Everyone else is pretty much not having a good time. You know, Ancient Gear Fusion, I'm just saying, that's a good take. Where's Ancient Gear Fusion, Konami? Where I want to play Ancient Gears, Konami. I want Ancient Gear Fusion. I hope for Fleur. Fleur is a weird one because Fleur, it's, I keep going back and forth on Fleur, whether or not I mind it or not. On one hand, there are so many different things you can do with Fleur, like as in put it in so many different decks as an engine, and I kind of like that. On the other hand, when you play against the same skill on the same character and they do the same combo over and over and over and over and over again for ages and ages and ages, it seems to have no sign of getting hit. That's not great. Also, no Cyber Dragon unlimits. I don't think they will unlimit Cyber Dragon cards until they're giving us more support. Like, they give us Infinity, bam, they're going to start unhitting a load of stuff, right? And then they'll make Infinity like the new Tachyon and make it overpowered for a month, and then they'll hit it, right? That's kind of how I see Cyber Dragon going when we do eventually get some of that. Because we're still missing, like, a ton of stuff for Cyber Dragon, right? Like, if we grab this, we've got to be missing what? We're missing, like, Sieger, Jaeger. That's probably the full Cyber Dragon title here. So what have we got? We are missing... We have Nashta already. I didn't even realize that. My old precious Cyberload Fusion. So we are missing... Oh, we actually have Overflow at one. We're missing hers. We're missing Infinity, obviously. We're missing Fortress Dragon, which is probably for the best. We probably don't want Mega Fleet and Fortress. They're like a little bit toxic. We don't have Sieger. We don't have Emergency. There's actually not a lot we don't have, to be honest. Yu-Gi-Oh! Sky Striker links. With possible new Sidra Rush on January, maybe Sidra for New Year in Speed 2. I would have thought. So in my mind, right, we just got a bunch of Gaia cards for Speed, for Speed, right, not that long ago. So in my mind, I'm like, if we're going to do a load of Gaia support cards, why don't we release some Gaia support cards in Rush as well, and then drum up excitement for both at the same time? Win-win. And so I was like, okay, maybe we'll get some Gaia fusions very, very early for Rush. Nope, that didn't happen. They just released the Gaia stuff a little bit earlier into Speed, and we haven't heard any word about them coming in Rush. I was like, it writes itself. Like, why not just do that? And then again, now we're at this point where we're like, oh, we're getting Rush Cyber Dragon stuff. This is the perfect time to give us Cyber Dragon Speed stuff. And once again, it's not happening. And I'm like, it writes itself. It's so free. But Konami won't do it, and I don't know why. Sidra is like the only deck in Speed Duel Links where I actually played meta deck. That would be logical, so Konami says no. I think it just makes sense, right? You just do a campaign or whatever, give like people a free copy of some bullshit card that doesn't matter, like for Rush, you just give us like the vanilla Gaia the Dragon Champion, right? You just give this as an alt art because this has an alt art. I don't know if it'll actually be on here. Is it going to be on here? No, it's not on here. This has like a chibi form, and you can just give us the chibi form as like a one-of prismatic campaign reward, and like it just makes sense to me. I don't know. It's weird. Back to speed. I guess we'll. Oh, back to. I guess we'll finish up speed. We have some speed cards here. What do people think of these leaked cards? Now, we still have other leaked cards that we haven't gotten yet. So this isn't like, oh, this is the next box. This is everything that's going to be in it. We're guaranteed to get these in the next couple of weeks. No, but what do people actually think of these cards? So we got some new Sky Strikers. I don't know how I feel about the Sky Striker cards. I don't really care, if I'm being honest. We haven't got the double attack one, right? Have we? If you control one of the gravity, special summon Sky Striker ace monster from your extra deck, and if you have at least one light monster on your field, or on your go to summon. Isn't this the problematic card? Because isn't this the one where you can, like, attack directly and then get another guy that can attack directly and they keep gaining 1,000 attack? Because it wouldn't, especially with only 4,000 life points, isn't this really good? Do we have, we must have the direct attack Sky Striker, right? Striker plus random there. Azalea is pretty good card. Yep, it's pretty much just helps OTK. Yes, linkage is very good. I don't want this card coming out. Which one's Azalea? So can be special summoned by once per turn. If this card is special summoned, you target one card on the field, destroy it. That's pretty good. If you have 3 or less spell cards in your graveyard, send this card to the graveyard. Okay. Slight drawback, I suppose. And it is a link 2. Once per turn, at the start of the damage step, this card battles an opponent's monster. You can banish one spell card from your graveyard to destroy that opponent's monster. Okay, this seems pretty good. This does seem pretty good. It's weird to me that we have Link 2 and Link 3 Sky Striker monsters. I've always seen them as like the Link 1 deck. But yeah, Sky Striker stuff is like neat. What I want though, and people might already have like foreseen this, I like dinosaurs. So the dinosaur stuff is what I want. I don't know what a lot of these cards do. I obviously know what Double-Headed King Dino Rex does. Like, this is quite a popular one. I don't know what any of the links do. Well, this is a reptile for a start, so that's not particularly helpful. So this down to 2+ dinosaur monsters, including a level 6 or higher monster. That's quite a steep cost to get this out. If this card is special summoned, you can special summon 1 dinosaur monster from your hand. Okay. If a face-up dinosaur monster this card points to is destroyed by battle or sent to the graveyard, you can draw 1 card. So, either we have to have a way to turn our opponents to be dinosaurs, or we want this guy to not be in the EMZ. If this card is destroyed, you can shuffle 1 normal monster from your graveyard to the deck, then you can special summon this card. That's awkward. I don't know how often you're going to get that effect off, unless we have like a skill that works with that, because we don't really want to be playing normal monsters. I can't think of a normal monster we'd want to run. Unless there is like a named one that I'm not thinking of. You can use effect of it once per turn. I mean, it is expensive, but there's probably like combos that get it out, like using double-headed because it's just a special summon. It's level 6 already. Beta Evolution Pill is pretty crazy as well. And then obviously there's Transcendosaurus Giant Zowler. When are we getting this guy in Rush is what I want to know, right? Dinosaur monster plus a normal monster. What is the... So it's any normal monster, so it doesn't specifically have to be a dinosaur normal. I mean, that's kind of it, right? It's like... We got these guys. I don't know what the sages do. Like, what are these cards? Like, what archetype are these guys from? This is a Pillar of the Future. Sage, Sage... Sage. So it's 3 sages and a pillar. Well, I assume they're all... Oh, this is a Sky Striker card. Oh, they're all Sky Striker... I didn't even realize these were Sky Striker cards. That's weird. That's weird, bro. They're Sky Striker cards. Yeah, bro. By the way, I really do not like cards that have this like bracket and just says that they're part of an archetype. I don't like that. Yeah, it's from the manga. I mean, that's fair enough if they're from the manga, because it's like different rules, right? But I mean, for me, I want the dinosaur stuff. I might be a little bit biased there. But, let's go and take a look at the skill leak, shall we? Now, that's what I meant, 12 new cards. I thought we were just being hyperbolic. So skills. What do we think about these? So we've already made a big video about them, but we kind of were just talking about what they did, rather than, like, what we think of them. So, like, skill 2, I don't think this is very good. I don't see Crusadia or DDD or Raid Raptor, so nothing for me. No, we don't like Raid Raptor. Raid Raptor's a burn deck. We used to like Raid Raptors. Now we don't like Raid Raptors anymore. That's how we've gone. That's our evolution. Yeah, I don't like this skill. We have to summon out a Galactica Oblivion to get it to work. The cards we get are like fine, but they're like nothing crazy. Unless the main deck cards we get are absolutely insane, I don't see skill 2 being particularly good. Skill 3 is awkward. We can get Universe Storm, which potentially could be okay. I think I prefer skill 3 over skill 2. And then skill 4, in my opinion, is probably the good one. So this basically sets us up for a Secret Order, right? We just send Galactica Oblivion from hand to grave, grab the Secret Order, bam, we have it on the field. So, like, this seems like the best one to me, but I guess time will tell. Then we'll go to the Yuhi skills. This is pointless. Skill 3. 3 is interesting. It's infinite as long as you have an Oblivion in hand. Yeah, that's the problem, though, because it's like, how often are you going to be able to keep Oblivion in hand? How long is the game going to go? Because you've got to remember, the game is going to be speeding up. The games already can be quite quick. I mean, if we just look at the tournament we just watched, Psychic can just end the game out of nowhere, right? Theoretically, we're getting more cards along that vein. We're thinking about Dragia Star F. We're thinking about Seven's Road Paladin. So there will be more decks that can just close the game quicker. It's really hard to know what I like beyond personal bias until we see what we're actually getting, but trying to put it aside, Galaxy getting Secret Order is strong, Fusion, Dragius, and Spellcaster I like. UOs are interesting, but really do want to know what we're getting for him. Yuhi 4 is good if we get Cobra. So, I don't know if you've finished watching the video, Manicus, but I don't think we're getting Cobra. Now, we could get Cobra. I'm not saying we're definitely not getting it. Konami can do whatever the heck they want. I just think it's too early to start giving us a bunch of Go Rush fusions, because the power level of them does drastically go up, and I don't think... So there's this, like, rule, quote-unquote, that Konami has, which is we can't release a card that references another card that isn't in the game. So, for example, if we go and check out Cobra, Cobra says on it, Arc Scorpio and Centipede. So if we put Cobra in the game, we need to put in Arc Scorpio and Centipede, right? So let's go take a look at those cards. Again, they don't technically have to. They could set a new precedent, but this is just what we know so far. So Joint Tech Arc Scorpio says on it, send one machine monster from your hand or face up from your field to the graveyard. Add Fusion or Power Bond. Now again, because of that rule we just said, we can't, if we get this, we're getting Power Bond, right? So, like, that's where it gets weird. Now, we could get Power Bond. That would be a box seller, right? If they put Power Bond in a box or in a selection box or as a bundle, people would get it because it's Power Bond. It's a cool card. We're getting Cyber Dragons. People love Zane. It's also just really strong. But if we get... Basically, if we get Cobra, we basically have to get Power Bond, right? And that's the trail of thought where I'm like, we're probably not going to get this. And then the other one is Centipede. Centipede's kind of cool. Return one other face-up level 5 or higher Earth Sweep machine monster from your field to the owner's hands. That's not great because it has to be a 5 or higher. Destroy one monster on your opponent's field. This turn you can activate the effects of non-machines. So you can use this with Jointech Rex. Summon Jointech Rex, pop an opponent's back row, get out a Centipede, use its effect, put Rex back in hand, summon Rex again. But that is a heavy, heavy, heavy resource investment to get enough normal summons to be able to do that. We're looking at 6 normals, which is pretty unrealistic. My idea for the whole coin toss skill that we might get Join Tech Triceratops. What do you mean Triceratops, yeah? Because I think it's almost guaranteed we're getting Triceratops, right? There's no way we're not getting Triceratops. I don't think there is a Triceratops. I'm pretty sure it's just Triceratops, unless I'm forgetting one. Yeah, it's almost certainly Triceratops. It can't realistically be anything else. Yeah, this skill is pointless. This skill is weird. I don't hate this skill. I do think, though, skill 3, this is a gimmick skill to just do Triceratops things. And that is it, right? This is just the Triceratops skill. And if you're not doing Triceratops things with this skill, you're not doing anything with this skill, right? And then, yeah, as Corey is saying, I do think that this is going to be Tamabot, right? Thank you for the follow, X Nova. Welcome, welcome on in. So, this skill can be used if all monsters in your deck are Earth Machines. That's quite a heavy restriction, but it makes sense. From turn 2 onwards, reveal 1 level 7 monster in your hand to your opponent. So again, it has to be a machine Earth level 7, because the whole deck has to be that. So for the most part, this is almost just going to be the Joint Rex, right? It's almost certainly just going to be Joint Rex, but we might have a couple of others. We'll have to wait and see. Unfortunately, this doesn't actually work with Ancient Gear Golem, which does kind of suck, because that's going to be in the deck. But we can add one level 1 or level 2 monster with more than 0 attack from your deck to your hand. This can be Tamabot or Stud Hedgepeg. Return 1 card from your hand to the deck. So unfortunately, it doesn't plus us. If this plussed us, this would be a really good skill. If we didn't have to put a card back from our hand into the deck, this actually becomes an insanely good skill. Unfortunately, it does do that. So no Tamabot Burst Dragon. Not yet, I don't think, but we will probably get it sooner than later, I would think. Then you can decrease the attack of all face monsters in your opponent to a 1600 more attack by 300 to the end of the turn. This is also a bit wonky, because a lot of the fusion monsters we're going to be getting have 2800 attack. And so if we reduce them by 300, our boss monster now is a 25, and we've made them 25, so now we need another reduction. So I really wish this was 400. I think if we just change that 3 to a 4, this skill becomes okay. I think as it is right now, this skill doesn't plus us. It doesn't reduce the opponent by enough, depending on what deck we're against. Again, we're not going to out most fusions with this. I'm not a fan, to be honest. I hope this gets a buff. And I don't even, like I said, I don't think it needs a huge buff. I think if we just change this to a 4, a lot of my problems with this skill are gone. If we also were to take away putting a card back, then this skill actually becomes really, really good. Even if we left this at 3, I think if we just got the plus off of this skill, I would really like the skill anyway. Most of those skills need buffs. I mean, until we've actually played with them, we won't really know, right? We could end up getting a really busted card pool. When we do get our hands on them, we'll have to wait and see how they actually feel. Then there's the Iwamu skills. I don't really like any of these. So choose one face-up Light Dragon on your field with attack between 15 and 25, and it gains 300 attack, but cannot attack directly. Again, this has the same problem. This does not get over a fusion monster. Most of them are going to be at least 2800, so we can crash into them. So we still need something else. Skill 3 can be activated if you have a face-up level 7 light or dark monster with attack between 23 and 25. So this might be hinting that we get Red Reboot or Red Boot, but also could just be future-proofing. Red Boot, at the very least, does have the ability to out stuff, right? That is higher than, like, 28. But we can change one attack position monster on your opponent's field to face a defense position. If it's 2500 or more defense, decrease its defense by 800. So this is nice, because this lets us, as Manicus has already pointed out, we can out fusions with it. But just outing fusions, is that a good enough skill? Is just having the ability to out a fusion... Like, it's not inherently terrible, but now it becomes like, this kind of does a thing instead of doing nothing. Rather than, like, it's doing something really cool. Plus 300 attack, change to defense, minus defense, and exactly 2k monsters can be popped. Yeah, this skill is weird for me. I was expecting something along the lines of this, but this is like just weird. Reckon we're getting Light Wave because we get restricted on attack direct, and none of the skills make other actual bosses able to be beaten by Bluetooth effect. Would make sense why skill also lowers our own Bluetooth if we gain 900 from full board clear and only it can attack. I think, for me, it's a little bit disappointing though, because if we get Light Wave, as is, right, we just get Light Wave. Light Wave plus Bluetooth is full combo. That's just a board wipe. We just have, you know, Royal Rebels Doom Metal. We just have it. And it's easier to use than Doom Metal. The downside is it doesn't work on, like, maximums. That's it. That's the downside. It's just absolutely incredible, other than the fact we can't use it on maximums. None of the skills literally helping the deck's mechanics. What if we just mesh skill 3 with Dragius anyway? I mean, you could. I still think Dragius would just probably be better. I mean, Dragius goes up to 27 with the other skill, with the Dragius skill. So, like, arguably, that still can't beat Fusion, so maybe you would, like, use that for that. If you think about it like if you think about it, the way I've worded, it's basically Royal Rebels, but no burn and attack restriction. So, which attack restriction are we talking about? Talk about this. Because if we get Light Wave, we don't need this. That's the other thing. If we have Light Wave, what is the point of this skill? We just wouldn't use it, right? Because Light Wave, like if we bring up Light Wave quick, just so we get everyone on the same page. So send the top 2 cards of your deck to the graveyard. Up to 3 face-up monsters, so all of them. Lose 1500 attack. And we pop 1500 or lower, which means as long as those monsters have 3000 or less attack, we get to wipe the whole board. So we don't need anything. We don't need skill 4 for that. Because even with Light Wave, we can't kill 3k monsters. What do you mean? We can kill 3k monsters. It reduces them by 1500. And then Bluetooth pops 1500 or less. So we can pop 1500s. Or we can pop 3000 attack monsters. We can't pop 3100 monsters. Which is very, very rare. Like, I mean, if we go and take a look, right? We'll just look at monsters that have minimum attack 3100. So these are the monsters we can't pop with it. There's only one page the entire game. These are currently listed by popularity. We sort them by attack. It's like, what, like, inches by? If this finishes loading. So we've got 35. That's not coming out for ages. I mean, this could come out. A Meteor Black Dragon, that could come out soon. Meteor Black Drake isn't out yet. Cyber Tactical, that could come out soon. Black Skull, that could come out soon. Cyber Dragon is difficult to pop anyway. I mean, yeah, it's basically a maximum, right? The Cyber Dragon stuff. But, like, this is the pile of cards that we can't break. Other than these, we break everything. And, yeah, maximums aren't here because it's maximum attack, but, you know, you get the point. So, like, again, at that point, we just wouldn't bother using this. Like, this reduces them by 500. So, what we'd have to do is do this. So, the skill would let us out these, when this finishes loading, these guys that we're about to see now. And they're the only ones the skill will help us out with. Otherwise, again, we just don't need the skill. Come on, DLM. You've got this. I believe in you. Come on, DLM. Slowly but surely. Right, here we go. So these are the cards. If these cards become meta, then it's a good idea to run the skill, maybe, because we can out them. But other than these, it just doesn't. It's just irrelevant. So yeah, I don't like the Yowamu cards or the Yowamu skills. Where is my? Oh well, it doesn't really matter. The mouse wheel. I really still need to get the new mouse. Right, UO skills. UO skills. Again, this skill's pointless. Doesn't matter. Okay, so without Lightwave, none of the skills let us out 2100s with Bluetooth. Yes. Without Lightwave, none of the skills let Bluetooth really do anything. Like, one of them lets us out exactly 2000 attack monsters. So skill 2. This skill can be used if all monsters in your main deck are light monsters. From turn 2 onwards, you can activate these effects. So this is probably the good skill. But again, it depends. But this one is, we can send an imaginary actor or a monster ring. Oh, we didn't mean to click that. We can send imaginary actor or monster reincarnation from a deck to the graveyard. So this doesn't plus us. It also doesn't minus us. Are there any dragon cards that reduce attack besides Lightwave? Oh, dragon specifically? I mean, we can look. We could totally have a look. I can't think of any off the top of my head. What are we looking at? Reduce? Lower? What's the terminology we use? There we go. These are them, I would assume. What's Lightwave's wording, actually? So he's not here. Lose. It's just lose. So, Negator Dragon is a really cool card. I don't know if we're ready for this card yet, but Negator Dragon is really good. So just to show it so my camera isn't all over it. This card is insane, right? So during the turn that we normal summon this card, we can send the top 2 cards of our deck to the graveyard. If we have Negate Attack in our graveyard, we can make up to 3 face-up monsters in your opponent's field lose 2000 attack to the end of your opponent's next turn. This card is actually bonkers, and this card has seen an absolute crap ton of meta play. So this card is insane. How many light mons do we have with 500 defense? So many, bro. So many. And we're not going to bother to look at them because there's just so many. But, you know, Negator Dragon is fantastic. I mean, Gravity Press exists. Shock Dragon has some potential. It's just very expensive to get out a Shock Dragon and a Bluetooth in the same turn. Fortitude Dragon is not a huge amount. It has a similar restriction where it's only on 2000 or more attack monsters. And we need the trap card to come with it. I don't know what this is. I can't remember this card. If your opponent has an attack position level 9 or lower monster on the field, pay 3000 life points. This card gains 2000 attack at the end of this turn. Where's the word lose on this? Oh, it's in the name, Closer. Ancient Arrived Dragon. Lose 400 attack. I mean, Ancient Arrive could probably come out. I think Ancient Arrive would be fine. Stockbuster is... It's a bit awkward. It doesn't work on fusions, right? The Star Dragon. Then top card to the graveyard. This card loses 500. Yes, this one just weakens itself, so that's irrelevant. And then Illusion Strike is probably the bigger one, right? Everyone knows Illusion Strike. So yeah, this first skill is fine. Doesn't do anything to us, really. This also, again, seems a bit fair. We have to lose a card from our hand, and then we add Turbo. I don't really like this card. Imaginary Arc Turbo, in my opinion, is a bit mid. These are just monsters. I'll have to look at the spell and traps that reduce for dragons. Otherwise, the only way for Bluetooth to out 2100 boss is SS or TA. Yeah, but basically, that's the issue that I'm having with the skills, is there just isn't much. Yeah, I don't... So this, to me, this is meant to be the good skill. And if we get Reactor, maybe just this part of the skill's good, because effectively we don't want a plus. But if we do get Reactor, this skill becomes, if you have Reactor in your hand, you just get to draw 2 cards, which is really good. So, like, potentially this is really good. The spell is just jump up with the skill, but the normals are all mid. The other issue is this doesn't give you the jump up part of getting a boss monster out cheaper. So it also is missing that part of it. So I would just be using it on the fusion for win more. Yeah, basically, yeah. I think you'd play this as like a one-off, right? and then you play this skill just to be used with the... I don't actually know if he's in it yet. Is he... Is Imaginary Reactor on here yet? No, he's not. Damn it, Brad. But yeah, the I think this is probably fine if we get Reactor. Skill 3, heavy restrictions. The one thing I don't like about this skill is this crap. I don't want to be playing the fairy boss monsters. I just don't want them. I don't want them in my deck. I don't like them. I don't think they're very good. Not a fan. So I'll probably be trying to avoid this. And for the same reason, I don't like skill 4 either. I don't want to play Gaia Katuno Megami, and I don't want to play Die Gaia Katuno Megami. I just don't want them. You'll play it to enable you to send them to recycle with the support we hopefully get to recycle. I mean, basically. I wonder if we'll get the fairy back row hate. It's not too far-fetched. The other thing is, we should actually be getting some of the fairy stuff soon. There is a non-zero chance that we actually get some of this, right? Because the fairy bosses, the sushi stuff from Sevens, came out around the UO time, right? Around the time UO got introduced, we also got the fairy sushi stuff with Sushiko. And in Go Rush, London plays his Dark Fairies relatively early. So like all of the fairy stuff could actually come out sooner than later. The Pop 2 ain't bad though. The problem with the Pop 2 is it is entirely luck dependent, right? You need to mill a card that has the exact same type as cards that your opponent has on the board. So one, you have to make sure that you're playing cards in your deck that are the same type. Two, you have to make sure your opponent is playing a deck that has the same type. And there is no way to change those types. So it's just get lucky, right? So I don't like this card. I don't, realistically, for me, this is a draw one card, and 1 in every 20 games, it might pop some things. London is Arc 2 already, yeah. Directly at the start. What I think we could see, though, we could see Agarabel. I think Agarabel could come out fine. Send a fairy from your hand to the graveyard. 1 face-up monster gains 1,000 attack. I think we could get Ginge Angel. If your opponent's life points are 4,000 or higher, send 2 cards from your hand to the graveyard. Inflict damage equal to the attack of 1 face-up level 8 or lower monster on your opponent's field to your opponent. Maybe that's a bit too good just because of 2,000 less life points. Where are the dark ones? They're up here, right? Yeah, Arts Angel, Metal Position. This card could come out. This would also be fine. Yuo's career is dependent on what support we get for him. Too many types, too much variety to be given all at once. Exactly. Plus, like, if you give him, like, the anti-dinosaur cards, what does that really accomplish? Watchman of the Apocalypse we might not want yet. I don't know. Would it be fine? So he's basically a 3,000 attack monster. And he cannot be destroyed by the opponent's level 8 or lower monsters. This should probably be fine. Dice Fairy. No, it's too early for dice. We're not getting the dice. Put the dice back in the drawer. We'll play with them later. My poor chairs. My poor chairs. When am I getting my chairs? But yeah, I think that's my thoughts, feelings, and opinions. I think this skill is going to be good if we get Reactor. We're almost certainly getting Reactor, because why else would we send Monster Incarnation to the graveyard? There would be no point. And then we get to the other skills. Fusion Deal. Again, I said this in the video. I would much rather this gave us a fusion rather than giving us a draw if we get fusion. Like, I'd rather have this was like a consistency card, but it's not. When I'm getting my Melody. You talked about Meeg. Is that who we're saying when we're saying Melody? Level 4 draw. Again, I think there is going to be a way to break this at some point. I don't know when that's going to be. And when I say break it, I just mean like do unwanted things with it that Konami don't want you to do. I think there are ways to break this. This is kind of mid. Could be funny to try with dinosaurs. This is crap. This is okay. I don't think this skill is particularly good. Even if it does mean we get heroes, but it's fine. The level 4 draw is good for Yuo because the whole deck is small. I mean, yeah, but would you play this over the skill that lets you set up your draw 2 combo? So make sure you get 2 materials for sure. Well, the issue is that some of... So you always need Imaginary Actor. And he's a level 1. So that doesn't really help up with that. A lot of the other ones are... It's a pain in the ass to like, look at them. I'm pretty sure Graciosaurus is level 4. Thingy's a level 4. What about the sword one? Oh, what's his name? Ashura Star Sword Dancer. Sword Dancer's got to be level 4, right? There's no way it's not. Okay, all the materials are 4. But you won't be able to guarantee which one you get unless you're only playing one. They all have the exact same stats and level. Wait, is... Oh, yeah, they're right. For some reason, I thought Graciosaurus was a level... was a 1500, but I think it's just because there is another 1500 dino. I think there are 2 1500 dino vanillas. But yeah, that's kind of all I have to say about that. The fusion skill 2 for Yuga. This is really good. Is it going to be enough? I don't know. Just because, although we do get a +1 by using the skill, we still have to summon, tribute to get out the Seven's Road, summon the swordsman, activate fusion. So if we get a plus, we now have 6 cards to work with, but we're still spending 5 of them to get it out. And even if we do cheat it out, we're not cheating out for much cheaper. So like, it's still a heavy investment to get it out, and it will just fall over to like so much stuff, right? You can get interrupted with Trap Hole, you can get interrupted with Widespread Ruin. There's just so many things that can go wrong by investing into this. The fact none of the materials are going to be viable beaters means we'll be leaning on fusions or the boss. I hope we actually, just actually make plays. 1400 is like an okay stat though, right? Unless other people are specifically on 15s, which to be fair, right now, what we got what? Cyburst is playing a bunch of them. Psychic is playing a bunch of them. Machine is playing some of them. Rebels sometimes plays some of them. A lot of the other decks aren't actually playing that many, so it will depend how aggressive the decks we get are, and how many of them are going to want to be playing big 1500s. Vulcan is now beta deck. I mean, it depends what... It depends if Vulcan's good enough in the new meta. It might be. It very well might be. We'll have to wait and see. Cyber Dragon gets 2100 free. I mean, that is a very good point. Can't we just use the excavating and summoning from graveyard casters? We did get those in our latest rush box for 7s. Can't we just use the excavating and summon from graveyard casters? The only excavating one I can think of is Magic Curtain, that only works with the Dark Magician cards. And the one that summons from graveyard is still good, but it's still a 3-card investment, right? We still have to summon out 3 guys, send them to the graveyard, bring back Seven's Red Magician. So if anything, we've now just... It's the same. It's the same card economy, right? So, like, I think you'd still play it. You'd still play Seven's Road Sorcerer in the deck. I just don't think it, like, makes it any easier. It just means it'll be a little bit more consistent. But you're not getting it out any cheaper. Is the new Metarion Fusion spell unlikely to come right away? I would be very surprised if we got any of those. So, any kind of Miracle Fusion type effect, I don't think we're going to get immediately. I think they will avoid them, because cheating out Fusion monsters is not really how we want the first set to go. I think we want to keep everyone just on the Fusion spell for a bit, and then they'll slowly drip feed us extra ways, and they'll probably make a big deal out of giving us the first, like, Miracle Fusion card. Plus that, any card that is one card, here's a boss monster, is really good. The very first one we got of that was Secret Order. And Secret Order is really strong. But you know what's better than Secret Order? Seven's Wonder Fusion. Because you just cheat out a boss monster that can end the game on the spot. So when we start getting more of these like Miracle Fusion type effects that can just, oh, I've drawn it for turn, 1 card from my hand summons out my boss, I've still got 4 more cards to work with, and that boss is massive attack, and has extra effects built in, that is so much better than Secret Order, and Secret Order is already really, really strong. I don't think the spell's fuses from the graveyard. Yeah, to be fair, you're right, but it does plus you. That one, I believe, adds back Imaginary Actor and something else from your graveyard. I think it just, like, grabs stuff back. And then we have the Luke skill, which this is also good. This is good when you're not against fusions and maximums. Just Dragius go burr. This skill is a bit weird. I don't know if this is worded correctly. We're going to have to wait until we get the final wording on this. But this could potentially be really, really good. Adds either a fusion or a material from graveyard. Yes, that one. So, going off memory. But yeah, this skill, in my opinion, is good because of the cards we make with it. Because all three of these guys are insane. So I guess we'll take a look at them. Hyperstrike Dragon Dragius, start F. Bonkers, right? This first effect is actually kind of mid. And this is actually a little bit annoying because it can't clear an Yggdrago. If this got it up to 4,100, I would like this a lot better. But this second effect is crazy. Piercing and double attack is just insane, and it can attack directly. Just absolutely incredible. Then we have Fantasia Strike, which is absolutely insane as well. Up to 3 face-up monsters on your opponent's field is 1,500 attack. That is insane. We've just reduced our opponent's board by 4,500 attack. That's basically 4,500 extra damage we get to inflict this turn. And this turn, this card can make it to 2 attacks on monsters. So that's just bonkers. Or it could just attack directly. It's just a 3,000 attack guy that could just attack directly. That's half of your life points. So many times, you'll probably slap this down and win the game on the spot because attacking directly is attacking directly. And then Sturdy Strike, this is going to be less good now. But as we get more Mirror Forces, which Rush is covered in Mirror Forces in the physical game, so we'll be getting a lot of them eventually. Sturdy Strike Dragon, Meta Gear Star F, his value is going to go up and up and up. Because of the second part, all face-up monsters in your field cannot be destroyed by battle or your opponent's trap cards until the end of this turn. Also, this card can attack twice, which is just really, really good, right? If we ever find ourselves in a meta where there is just Mirror Force going around everywhere, so like the actual legend itself, and then like, you know, machines get one, spellcasters get one, Galaxy get one. There are just so many Mirror Force. Beasts get one. As soon as those become common, this card's stocks just go way up, way up. Are we getting a new box once the world releases or after? So we should get 2 boxes straight away, as far as we're aware. Based on the information we have, and based on all the different sources we've been getting information from, it seems like we're getting 2 rush boxes. But again, pinch of salt, we don't 100% know. We just is the best educated guess we can make. But yeah, these fusions are nutty. Like, absolutely nutty. So the Spellcaster fusion we're getting is good. The Seven's Paladin. But it is not on the same level, in my opinion, as the Dragon ones. Like, this is still a fantastic card, right? So this card sends it to graveyard. This card gains attack equal to the number of different attributes in both players' graveyards. Very important distinction. And it gives 400 per. So this guy can easily go up to, what would that be, 6 times 4? So 2,400 extra attack. So it becomes, what, 4,300? 5,300? Or, and this is the nice bit, we can just put a card from our graveyard back in the deck and draw 1 card, which is a very underrated effect. Just being able to get a +1 every turn is really, really good, especially if you can't actually get any damage in anyway, if your opponent just sets 3. Sources. 2 new boxes and 2 new structure decks on the 1st of October, 2 new bundles too. Also, Tomato Udius's first skill says add to extra 2, maybe Oblivion. Again, I take it with a pinch of salt. We don't know exactly if that's going to be the exact wording. If we do get Oblivion, though, I don't know why we wouldn't get fusions for everyone. But again, Oblivion is really strong. Now, is Oblivion... The thing is as well, so in my video where I talked about potentially Oblivion coming out, I said that it needed a lot of infrastructure to be like, to really pop off and really get everything it needs. And one of those cards is Secret Order. Because Secret Order just gets you your Oblivion out, so you don't have to sacrifice 2 cards. So basically, give up 0 cards. So just having Secret Order is really, really good for Oblivion. Oh, for Eternal Galactic Oblivion, I should say. But, we are already 20 minutes over. We have run over our deadline because we've just been caught up talking about a bunch of stuff. Basically, I guess the TLDR, I'm very much looking forward to to all of these cards coming out. I think there's going to be some really cool shit. I think for Udius and for Uamu... No, I don't even believe that. I think for Uamu, it will very much come down to the cards that come out. For Udius, the cards that come out will be important, but more importantly, how many copies of Secret Order? I think if this deck just gets 3 Secret Order, it will just already be a good deck, right? It will already be somewhat meta. Even if the rest of the cards that get a NAF, I think that would be enough. Yuhi... I think this could be a funny skill, and we'll see people experimenting with this and having some fun with Triceratops. Yuo, again, if we get his modern support, this skill's going to be nuts. We'll be able to use Reactor to put back Reincarnation, draw 2 cards, just getting free value. Getting loads of plussing is going to be really good when we fuse, because when we fuse, we lose value because we're losing a lot of cards. As well as the fact that Yuo doesn't lose as much value as other people when he fuses, because he summons non-tribute monsters, right? If you just normal summon a guy, fuse them, 3 card investment. Whereas if, for example, you make a 7's Paladin, normal summon, tribute both, summon out the 7's Road Paladin, summon out the Roadstar, activate fusion, 5 card investment. So 5 card investment is a lot worse than a 3 card investment. So Yuo already has that advantage going on. I think they went tame with Yuhi, so they don't have another machine meta nightmare. But the problem, it's not really a problem. My issue with that is that Join Tech has always been shit in the physical game. Like, it has always been bad. It has never been good. It's like had a couple tops very, very rarely, very sporadically. So putting them in Duel Links and giving them skills is the way to make the bad decks good. And we're not doing that. Now, Rex is fantastic. Rex is a really strong card, but that is like it. Like, the rest of the Join Tech cards kind of suck. So it's like, give us skills to make them good, please. That's what we want. I especially want Hero. I want Join Tech Hero really badly. But yeah, I think the Yuo skill is fine. I think Yuo could be really, really good. I think that... I don't think this skill is going to do too much, but I could be wrong. We'll have to wait and see. If this is Heroes, reducing by 600 is still not going to let Flame Wingman actually clear a fusion, which is a bit awkward. The Yuga skill, plussing, is still really good. We're going to have to see how that actually plays out. And this skill is really scary just because of the monsters you make off of it. Also, he doesn't... But that's my issue with Yuhi, is his deck is a bunch of different gimmicks that don't usually work well together, and he just wins because of anime bullshit, right? I just so happen to draw the perfect combo of cards in the right order, and that's letting me win, even though my cards don't really synergize very well. And that's always been my issue with Yuhi. It's sad that the 7's deck and non-character skills look way better than the actual New World characters, but we will see. I want to try all the new decks. I think we might see Udius being quite good. I think Udius has the most potential for me, then Yuhi, then Uamu. But, again, if Lightwave Dragon comes out, Uamu becomes fantastic. But if Lightwave Dragon comes out, do we need any of these Uamu skills? We might just not play any of them, so it'll be irrelevant. But that is going to be the end of the stream. We're already going 23 minutes over. We will be back on Tuesday for the release. We will probably be streaming a bit earlier, because I don't think I'm going to want... Anyway, unless we have a work thing come up again, and I physically cannot stream, I will be streaming as early as possible. I'm trying to get that Tuesday just straight up off, so I won't be on call, but we'll have to wait and see what actually ends up happening. But if that is the case, I will be probably like an hour or 2 earlier than usual, and we might make it a long stream because it's going to be a really exciting one. I don't know if we're going to bother doing a pack opening on stream. I personally am not a big fan of pack opening content, so I don't tend to do content I don't like myself. But we will be like throwing some decks together, testing some shit out, maybe see what decks people want us to play. But we will be back again on that Tuesday for Go Rush release. Don't forget as well, there is no Quantum Rush tournament today, but there is Grand's 3-deck, like swan song to the previous format tournament on Sunday, so I hope everyone signs up for that. But thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.